Chapter 600. Wang Daoyuan had met the two late golden core cultivators who had self-detonated. Neither of them was weaker than him. They could also use the Gui water divine lightning to restrain the underworld sect cultivators. Since the underworld sect could force them to self-detonate, there should be a lot of golden core cultivators hidden in the mine. After this, the Zhao clan was also on guard. It was impossible for them to fall into such an ambush again. The three major sects' hope of killing the Zhao clan was naturally shattered. If the two sides wanted to determine the winner, they could only fight head-on. After the self-detonation of the last two late golden core cultivators, the underworld sect had lost a lot of men. It was hard to say how much money both sides had left. It was still unknown who would win and who would lose this battle. There was still a good show to watch. Ever since the Wanchuan market had been conquered, it had become the long-legged prince's base camp. 3 days after the Onyx Crystal Mine's defeat, more than 50 flying warships set off from the Wanchuan market and went upstream along the Wanchuan River. Along the way, there were various markets and flying ships of various sizes coming over. When the group arrived at the Wanchuan market, there were already hundreds of flying ships following behind the flying warships. The three-river market was divided into 3 parts. The underworld sect occupied the east of the Darkwater estuary, while the Crescent Sun Palace occupied the west. The Myriad Spirit sect's territory was on a small island outside the Darkwater estuary. It was only 3 or 4 kilometers away from the shore. The 3 parts were not far from each other. The entire three-river market was defended by a defensive formation. The defensive formation of the three-river market had a lot to do with the Wang clan. It was an improved version of the Wang clan's Myriad Water Origin Formation. The Myriad Water Origin Formation was not unique to the Wang clan. It was also obtained from the Zhao clan. The formation masters of the 3 major sects had upgraded the Myriad Water Origin Formation to mid-grade level 4, increasing its power. However, the improvement was not very good. This formation was now called the 3-Water Combined Formation. In fact, it was no different from the Myriad Water Origin Formation in all aspects. It was just that its power was increased by about 20%. The spiritual power required to operate the formation had increased by more than 50%. This improvement was a failure. There were only a few places in the entire state of Zhao that could support the 3-Water Combined Formation. Only the 3-River Market, where 3 level 4 water spirit veins intersected, could support the 3-Water Combined Formation with abundant spiritual power. To be able to solve the problem of spiritual energy consumption, the power of the array was quite good. The 3-Water Confluence Formation was both offensive and defensive. If one couldn't withstand its attacks, they wouldn't be able to get close to the defensive light barrier, let alone find a flaw in it. The Zhao family's legacy of formations was naturally much more profound than the 3 major sects. It would not be like the 3 major sects situation in the past, where many gold core cultivators were unable to take down the Jade Spring Peak. As long as he could suppress the offensive means of the formation, breaking the formation would not be difficult. The 3 sects were not fools. Once the Wanchuan market was captured, Wuxia Pass would not be able to get enough logistical resources, and its collapse would be imminent. At that time, the 3 sects would have to face the Song Nation and the Zhao clan at the same time. If they wanted to hold on, they would have to mobilize all their golden core cultivators to fight the enemy. If there were no golden core cultivators guarding the Hanjiang Pass, it would not be able to stop the Wei nation at all. At that time, there would be a war between the 4 powers in the state of Zhao. No matter how capable the 3 great sects were, they would not be able to withstand it. The 3 major sects couldn't afford the price of losing Wanchuan market. As soon as the long-legged prince's forces set off from the Wanchuan market, the 3 major sects took action and forcibly gathered 12 golden core cultivators. Among them, the Netherworld sect sent 2 mid-stage golden core cultivators and 1 mid-grade and upper-grade level 4 refined corpse. The Cruel Sun Palace sent 2 late-stage golden core cultivators, while the Hanjiang Pass had to send at least 1 golden core cultivator. The Cruel Sun Palace was the weakest and could only send 2 late-stage golden core cultivators. The Thousand Spirit sect was still wealthy and sent 2 late-stage golden core cultivators, 1 mid-stage golden core cultivator, and 3 spirit beasts of the same level as their master. These people and spirit beasts had never shown their faces before. When the news came, Wang Daoyuan was also shocked. The 3 major sects were still very rich. If they really took out all their assets, the weakest Cruel Sun Palace would probably have more than 10 golden core cultivators. When the long-legged prince's subordinates arrived at the 3 river market, the 3 water fusion array had already been activated. The golden core cultivators of the 3 great sects also didn't wait in the 3 river market. Instead, each of the 3 sects sent a golden core cultivator, a refined corpse, and a rank 4 spirit beast to wait outside the formation. However, they were less than 50 miles away from the array, which was also within the array's attack range. With the array as support, these 5 golden core cultivators were enough to withstand the attacks of 10 golden core cultivators. The flying warships of the Zhao family were all stationed 100 miles east of the 3 river market. As for the flying ships carrying the scapegoats, they were all 200 miles away. The 5 golden core cultivators of the 3 sects waited outside the array, not daring to approach. 3 golden core cultivators walked out of the 2 leading flying warships. One of them wore an aqua-blue python robe and smiled. "Brother Ling Jiang, Gu Daoyu, let's test the strength of these traders of the 3 sects together." Gu Qingfeng added, "I've had this intention for a long time. When I fought with that junior Wang Daoyuan last time, I could only gain the upper hand, but couldn't win quickly. I just don't know if the golden core cultivators to the west of the sky/mountain range are all so difficult to deal with." Zhao Lingjiang's hair was white and he shouldn't be young anymore. He wore an aqua-blue robe. In terms of spirit power fluctuations, he was slightly stronger than Lord Waterfront and Gu Qingfeng. The 3 of them left the flying warship and attacked the cultivators of the 3 sects outside the array. The Underworld sect cultivator brought an upper-grade level 4 black bear refined corpse to meet Gu Qingfeng. The other 2 were from the Zhao family and knew the Gue Water Divine Lightning, which countered the Underworld sect cultivators. The Thousand Spirit sect late-stage golden core cultivator brought his golden condor to meet Zhao Lingjiang. The last golden core cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace faced Lord Waterfront. The 3 from the Zhao family weren't fools. As soon as the battle started, Zhao Lingjiang condensed a Gue Water Divine Lightning and smashed it at the black bear refined corpse. Seeing this, the Cruel Sun Palace cultivator slashed at Zhao Lingjiang with a huge earthen yellow sword. Gu Qingfeng took out his bone halberd and met the huge sword cultivator head-on. Lord Waterfront also relied on the power of his own Gue Water Divine Lightning to fight the Thousand Spirit sect cultivator and the Golden Condor. The Gue Water Divine Lightning was powerful, but the Thousand Spirit sect was fighting 2 against 1, so the 2 sides could fight to a draw. Zhao Lingjiang was completely trampled on by the Underworld sect cultivator. The Underworld sect cultivator was only at the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. His refined corpse was at the upper grade level 4, but it was far weaker than the refined corpses of the 10,000 corpse Taoist. In addition, the Gue Water Divine Lightning carried the power of thunder. Even if 1 person and 1 corpse used all their methods, they could only passively take a beating. Gu Qingfeng and the huge sword cultivator were both of the earth attribute and walked the path of body refinement. But Gu Qingfeng's cultivation was higher and he suppressed the huge sword cultivator. As he fought, he said, "No wonder they say the Wang family's inheritance is the nemesis of the Cruel Sun Palace. They are much weaker than Wang Daoyuan and even my grandnephew Gu Chongqing is inferior." He also knew about the conflict between the Wang family and the Cruel Sun Palace, so he deliberately provoked the huge sword cultivator with these words. How could the huge sword cultivator tolerate being said that he was inferior to the Wang family in front of the Cruel Sun Palace cultivator? The image of a brown bear appeared on his body and his spirit power increased greatly. Gu Qingfeng smiled contemptuously and the image of the yellow mane Kirin appeared on his body. Although the yellow mane Kirin was only a half-divine beast, its aura was very close to Kirin. Kirin was the king of all beasts. When the yellow mane Kirin appeared, the giant bear image's aura weakened greatly. Gu Qingfeng swung his halberd towards the huge sword cultivator. The huge sword cultivator didn't back down and swung his sword to meet it. The halberd swept the huge sword cultivator, and the huge sword cultivator was sent flying with his sword, crashing into the light shield of the defensive formation. His body was strong and he didn't suffer any serious injuries. But his hands holding the huge sword trembled slightly and his blood surged. Gu Qingfeng mocked, "This is a normal middle-stage golden core realm cultivator, not like that junior Wang Daoyuan. He's only at the middle stage of the golden core realm, but he can still fight with me in terms of physical strength." The huge sword cultivator was originally fine, but when he heard this, his face turned red and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Chapter 601. Gu Qingfeng didn't expect that mentioning the Wang family would be so effective in front of the cruel Sun Palace. However, since the giant sword cultivator was injured, he naturally had to follow up his victory. The battle was about to begin. If he could kill a mid-stage golden core cultivator, he would weaken his opponent's strength. He held his heavenly halberd and prepared to follow up. At this moment, a water sword flew out from the defensive light barrier and went straight for his throat. He knew the power of the myriad water origin formation. This 3-water combined formation was even stronger and couldn't be underestimated. He waved his heavenly halberd and shattered the water sword. Then, he hurriedly retreated 100 miles east of the 3-river market. He wasn't from the Zhao family and didn't have to risk his life for them. Lord Waterfront and Zhao Lingjiang were also attacked by the formation. Lord Waterfront could only fight to a draw with the man and the eagle from the Myriad Spirit sect. Now that the formation was attacking, he might be defeated if the stalemate continued. He naturally didn't dare to continue fighting. After shooting out 2 bolts of Gui Water Divine Lightning and repelling the man and the eagle, he also retreated. Zhao Lingjiang had been suppressing the underworld sect cultivator. The man and the corpse didn't dare to face him directly and stayed near the formation's defensive light barrier. Once the Gui Water Divine Lightning attacked, they would think of a way to make it hit the defensive light barrier. Even so, they were affected by the aftershocks of the explosion and suffered heavy injuries. After the formation started attacking, Zhao Lingjiang was also the focus of attention. It wasn't a water sword that flew towards him, but a water python. The power of this attack was already stronger than the full-strength attack of a late-stage golden core cultivator. Zhao Lingjiang's face was full of disdain. He took out a blue sword with dragon patterns. He held the sword with both hands. Water spirit energy surged on the sword, carrying the power of thunder. A blue water dragon appeared on his body. With a dragon roar, he swung the sword. An aqua-blue sword radiance flew out, and within the sword radiance, there was lightning. Seeing this sword light, the underworld sect cultivator trembled with fear. He subconsciously summoned a pitch-black shield to block the attack and retreated to the right. The black bear corpse also showed fear. Instead of blocking this attack, it retreated to the side. This situation would only happen when the master couldn't fully control the corpse. Rank 4 refined corpses already had some intelligence. Although it wasn't high, it still knew how to hide when faced with a huge threat. The blue sword ray was as swift and violent as lightning. In just a moment, the water python was cut into pieces. The cultivator from the underworld sect used his black shield to block the attack. As a result, the mid-grade level 4 black shield was cut in half like tofu. He was also sent flying by the sword light. After falling to the ground, he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood and fainted. A large gash had also appeared on the soft armor he was wearing. The black bear refined corpse didn't manage to escape either, and one of its paws was chopped off. After the myriad spirit sex cultivators dissolved Lord Waterfront's blooming water divine thunder, they attacked Zhao Lingjiang. At this moment, 3 water pythons formed from the formation and pounced on him. Naturally, Zhao Lingjiang wasn't stupid. With a flash of blue lightning, he disappeared. A moment later, he appeared beside Lord Waterfront. Waterfront King looked at him in surprise. "Brother Lingjiang, you've mastered the blooming water thunder sword? The heavens are really protecting my Zhao clan. There are actually 4 people who can master the clan's most powerful technique." Zhao Lingjiang waved his hand. "It's just a beginner. I'm far inferior to Uncle, His Majesty, and His Highness the Ninth Prince. If Uncle was here, this sword would probably be able to kill the underworld sex trader along with the black bear refined corpse. I can only use this simplest move. Its destructive power isn't enough. This blooming water thunder sword was the Zhao clan's most powerful technique. After the Zhao clan's ancestor obtained the blooming water divine thunder, he felt that it was still very lacking. Although it was extremely fast, its power was still far inferior to those large-scale techniques that needed to be stored up. Thus, he fused the true meaning of the blooming water divine thunder into sword cultivation techniques and created the blooming water thunder sword. After dozens of generations of continuous improvement, the speed of the blooming water thunder sword was only slightly inferior to the blooming water divine thunder. However, its power was far superior. However, the difficulty of cultivating this blooming water thunder sword was extremely high. It required one to cultivate the blooming water divine thunder to perfection. One also needed to have extremely high attainments in sword cultivation to be able to master it. Only a few people in each generation of the Zhao clan could master it. Now that the Zhao clan had fallen to such a state, there were still 4 people who could master it. It could be considered very difficult. Gu Qingfeng was too lazy to listen to their bragging. No matter how powerful the Zhao clan's inheritance was, didn't it still fall to such a state? He opened his mouth and asked, Dao Yu too, what do you plan to do with this formation? In the past, the myriad water origin formation blocked the siege of several golden core cultivators. This 3-water fusion formation is even more powerful. Just the 3 of us are far from enough. From the root, this formation is also your Zhao clan's inheritance. How should we deal with it? Come up with a plan. Lin Hai Wang said with a smile, 3 River Market isn't something that can be taken down in a short time. Let's find a place to settle down first. The 2 didn't have any objections and led the cultivators to withdraw to the east. The 3 great sects had scorched the earth and cleared the fields, leaving behind many empty spirit mountains. The Zhao clan's forces first settled down on a few spirit mountains 500 to 600 li east of the 3 River Market. The 3 golden core cultivators came to a small mountain called Jianghu. This used to be the Vermilion Spirit Mountain of a Foundation Establishment clan. Now, the clansmen of this clan had been pulled into the 3 River Market. The 3 of them were in the clan's ancestral hall. Lin Hai Wang said, the traders of the 3 sects have placed several golden core cultivators in the 3 River Market. Even if we attack with all our strength, it'll be very difficult to break through. Attacking the 3 River Market is using resources to compete with the 3 4th-grade water spirit veins. No matter how many resources we have, we won't be able to afford it. This 3-water fusion formation has a very big flaw, which is that it consumes too much spiritual power. As long as we work on the spirit veins and make them temporarily lose their effectiveness, the formation will break by itself. Gu Qingfeng shook his head and said, I can't do anything to the spirit veins. If you have a way, just say it. Don't keep me in suspense. Zhao Lingjiang asked, are you talking about our Zhao clan's seal of mountains and rivers? The seal of mountains and rivers was the magic tool of the founding monarch of the Zhao clan. Later on, it became the imperial jade seal passed down from generation to generation in the state of Zhao. It was also the symbol of the Zhao emperor's authority. Lin Hai Wang nodded. That's right. When our ancestors established the state of Zhao, they took a wisp of the origin of all the 4th-grade spirit veins in the territory and merged it into the seal of mountains and rivers. The 3 water spirit veins in the 3 River Market are naturally no exception. The spirit veins whose origin has been merged with the seal of mountains and rivers will be affected by it. As long as His Majesty brings the seal of mountains and rivers to the 3 River Market, we'll attack the 3 River Market. As long as the traders of the 3 sects open the formation, His Majesty will activate the seal of mountains and rivers to suppress one of the spirit veins. The entire 3-water fusion formation's foundation is built on the 3 spirit veins. Although this can increase the supply of spiritual power, as long as one spirit vein has a problem, it'll cause the entire formation's spiritual power to circulate erratically. Those are 3 4th-grade spirit veins. Once there's a problem, even if the formation core doesn't collapse, it'll be greatly damaged and won't be able to recover in a short time. At that time, 10 or so golden core cultivators will attack together. How can we not take down the three-river market? Zhao Lingjiang nodded. It's indeed a good plan. However, His Majesty values the seal of mountains and rivers very much and won't easily show it to others. If he doesn't agree, what will we do? Linhai Wang played it down. Then we'll withdraw our troops and return to Linhai province. The three laughed. Withdrawing their troops and returning to Linhai province wasn't a big deal. Linhai Wang was still the hereditary Linhai Wang, Zhao Lingjiang was still the fourth-ranked expert of the Zhao clan, and the Gu clan was still a powerful clan that could contend with Linhai Wang. Only His Majesty was no longer His Majesty. This time, the 13 Linhai clans had all taken action. It could be said that they were doing their best to help the sixth prince restore the state of Zhao. If he wasn't willing to take out the seal of mountains and rivers at this critical moment, causing him to fail on the verge of success, who would take him seriously in the future? Linhai Wang had his own fief. Generations of Linhai Wang had managed it for nearly 10,000 years. His family was sufficiently rich and could afford to lose. The sixth prince could only rely on the support of the Zhao clansmen he'd brought with him. If this support was gone, he'd be nothing more than a downtrodden prince living under someone else's roof. Chapter 602. Lord Waterfront and Zhao Lingjiang each sent a message to the sixth prince, reporting the situation at the three-river market as well as their decision. This time, the sixth prince didn't act rashly. The next day after receiving the news, the sixth prince set off from the Wanchuan market, heading towards the three-river market along the Wanchuan River. However, this fellow didn't forget to put on a show. He rode on a mid-grade fourth-grade flying warship, and the ones controlling the warship were all Zifu disciples. The flying warship was painted aqua blue, and it was decorated with dragon inscriptions. On the side of the warship, there was an aqua blue dragon flag. What made people speechless was that this flying warship actually had an enormous, luxurious cabin. The flying warship was used to fight enemies, so the cabin was small and sturdy. Such a large cabin would not only affect the flying warship's agility and increase the consumption of spirit stones, it would also lower the defensive power of the entire warship. This flying warship was the only one left of the Zhao clan, but it had been tormented to such an extent. For the sake of showing off, they had sacrificed a Jindan warrior. His flying warship arrived at Jianghu. Seeing this, Gu Qingfeng shook his head, thinking to himself, Wang Daoyuan, that junior, was right. This long-legged prince really isn't cut out for this. When life and death are at stake, he still has the time to play this game. I've bet on the wrong person. I hope that all of my clansmen can return in one piece. The sixth prince was still putting on quite a show. The flying warship stopped in the air above Jianghu, waiting for the three to pay their respects. Lord Waterfront and the other two flew onto the warship and entered the palace-like cabin, bowing to the sixth prince. Greetings, Your Majesty. The sixth prince sat high on the dragon throne and said calmly, Rise. Lord Waterfront cupped his hands and said, Your Majesty, the traders of the three sects have set up the three-river fusion formation at the three-river market. They are borrowing the power of the three fourth-grade spiritual veins to block the imperial army. Your Majesty, please use the seal of mountains and rivers to suppress the spiritual veins and break the formation. We will then charge into the three-river market and clean up the traitors. The Jindan warriors that the three sects left behind in the Zhao Empire have mostly gathered here. As long as we break through the three-river market, the destruction of the three sects will be just around the corner. The sixth prince said softly, Permitted. The three of them revealed looks of joy. Lord Waterfront said, I will gather all the golden core cultivators and strive to break through three-river market in one battle. Following which, the three of them exited the flying warship and prepared to attack the three-river market. Half a month later, another 10 golden core cultivators arrived. Among the 10 people, 3 of them were cultivators of the Zhao clan. All of them had white hair and looked like they were nearing the end of their lifespans. After the 10 of them arrived, Lord Waterfront led them to a place 100 li east of the three-river market. On the side of the three sects, there were also 5 humans, 2 demons, and 2 refined corpses. The cultivator from the underworld school who was severely injured by Zhao Lingjiang's sword did not participate in the battle. Instead, Lien, who had one of his bare paws cut off, participated in the battle. His severed bare paw had been reattached. As long as the corpse core wasn't damaged and the body was relatively intact, they wouldn't die. Thus, it wasn't a problem for them to sustain some injuries. The Zhao family relied on their numbers and didn't play any strategy. They directly charged into the area covered by the formation. Although the 3-water confluence formation was brilliant, it couldn't withstand the strength of the Zhao family. The cultivators of Waterfront Prefecture recruited by the Zhao family could only barely contend with the Golden Core cultivators of the 3 sects under the pressure of the formation. There were also a few who were directly ignored by the 3 sects and suppressed by the formation. However, the strength of the 5 Golden Core cultivators of the Zhao family was relatively terrifying. The weakest, Lord Waterfront, could also withstand the attacks of the formation and suppress the late-stage Golden Core cultivators of the Myriad Spirit sect. The 3 new Zhao family experts were suppressing the Myriad Spirit sect's demon beasts. The strongest, Zhao Lingjiang, could withstand the attacks of the formation previously and severely injure 2 Golden Core cultivators with a single sword strike. Needless to say, he could do the same now. He was dealing with an Earth attribute body tempering cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace who had a shield as his natal dermic artifact. This guy didn't fight back and was here to take a beating. He would hold on for as long as he could. Although the 13 people of the Zhao family had the upper hand, they didn't have any hope of winning in a short period of time. Furthermore, the main force of the 3 sects wasn't the 9 Golden Core cultivators, but the formation. The spirit energy of the formation was endless. If they continued to fight, it would be disadvantageous for the Zhao family. At this moment, a gorgeous flying warship flew over from the east. The warship stopped when it was 100 miles east of the 3 River Market Square. Then, a 9-inch square white jade seal flew out from the warship. The jade seal flew above the 3 River Market and rapidly expanded, emitting a jade-colored light. The 3 Tier 4 water veins in the area trembled slightly. The foundation of the formation built on the water veins naturally became unstable. The formation immediately summoned several water pythons to attack the jade seal. Unfortunately, the water pythons directly turned into water splashes under the jade-colored light. Soon, the jade seal grew to 100 feet square. It was a magic artifact that was only a step away from low-grade Tier 5. The power it emitted was comparable to the full-strength attack of a half-step Yuanian cultivator. A late-stage Golden Core cultivator without a minor divine ability would find it difficult to withstand the attack of the Seal of Mountains and Rivers. If the 6th prince hadn't escaped with the Seal of Mountains and Rivers, the 9th prince might have been able to use it to quell the rebellion of the 3 sections. The full power of the Seal of Mountains and Rivers was released, and the Darkwater River's spirit veins began to tremble. A late-stage Golden Core cultivator of the Myriad Spirit sect shouted, "Close the formation immediately." Before he finished speaking, the spirit energy of the Darkwater River stopped supplying the formation. With a kacha sound, the 3 River Market's defensive light barrier shattered with a loud bang. They had been suppressed by the formation before. Now that the formation was broken, the 3 sects had no power to resist at all. The 9 Golden Core cultivators of the 3 sects immediately retreated, distancing themselves from the Zhao cultivators. The 13 Zhao cultivators chased after them, wanting to take down the 3 River Market in one fell swoop. There were large amounts of resources stored here. If they took down this place, the cultivators of the 3 sects at the Wuching Pass would have nothing to eat. At this moment, 6 flying warships flew out of the 3 River Market. There were also 4 late-stage Golden Core cultivators, 2 high-grade Tier 4 refined corpses, and 4 high-grade Tier 4 spirit beasts. These refined corpses were probably quite old, but they didn't have a lifespan limit, so it was hard to tell. The 4 spirit beasts, on the other hand, all looked lethargic and didn't have much lifespan left. The 3 of them were the sect masters of the 3 sections. Even Luo Jiuyo was a late-stage Golden Core cultivator and had hidden his strength well. These refined corpses and demon beasts were the last resort of the myriad spirit sect and the underworld sect. The palace master of the cruel Sun Palace had only brought a late-stage golden core cultivator with grain temples. There were no refined corpses or powerful spirit beasts. But no one dared to underestimate him. There was a reason why the cruel Sun Palace could stand side by side with the underworld sect and the myriad spirit sect, and was the leader of the three sects hundreds of years ago. This time, the three sects should have brought out all their assets. After the four of them came out, the situation of the battlefield immediately reversed. There were 25 golden core cultivators on the three sects side, as well as the underworld sect cultivator who had been severely injured by Zhao Lingjiang last time. As for the sixth prince, including himself and the flying warship, there were only 15 golden core cultivators under his command. Even if the cultivators of the Zhao family were strong and could fight 1-on-2, they only had 21 golden core cultivators. The flying warship had been modified to be neither fish nor fowl, so it couldn't unleash much combat power. Although the three sects had been fighting among themselves for hundreds of years, they could still unite against the Zhao family. After all, if they lost, they would be completely wiped out. On the sixth prince's side, the cultivators of the Zhao family might still be able to fight to the death. The other 9 cultivators of Linhai state might not necessarily have the heart to fight to the death. Now that the situation had reversed, they were already thinking of retreating. The sixth prince immediately withdrew the mountain river seal. No one knew what he was thinking. The cultivator of the cruel Sun Palace shouted, "To catch bandits, first catch the leader. Take down the long-legged prince first. This old guy is good at running away. We couldn't catch him 500 years ago, so we can't let him escape this time." Hearing the name of the long-legged prince, the cultivators of the three sects all smiled. Even Gu Qingfeng and the other cultivators of Linhai state couldn't help but laugh. Wang Daoyuan's nickname was so popular that the whole of Beiyuan Shoshin knew he was the long-legged prince. He couldn't fight the enemy, but he could run away. In the warship, the sixth prince's face was full of anger. He gritted his teeth and growled, "Wang Daoyuan, I will cut you into pieces sooner or later, and not leave a single member of the Wang family alive." Chapter 603. The scapegoats captured by the Zhao family were also forced to attack and fight against the cultivators of the three sections. However, they were not in the mood to fight. The key to victory was the battle strength of a golden core cultivator. It was meaningless for them to fight to the death, so they might as well save their own lives. At this time, 2 fourth-grade flying warships and 2 late-stage golden core cultivators of the myriad spirit sect surrounded the sixth prince's carriage. The Zhao family wanted to stop them, but they were held back by the cultivators of the three sections. In particular, the late-stage golden core cultivator who came with the cruel Sun Palace's palace master could match Zhao Lingjiang in a one-on-one battle. No wonder the cruel Sun Palace was the leader of the three great sects in the past. The flying warships and cultivators of the three great sects were already 5 kilometers away from the sixth prince's carriage. The sixth prince's strength was not bad. He was known for his talent in cultivation back then, so his fighting strength should not be bad. However, facing 2 cultivators of the same level and 2 fourth-grade mid-grade flying warships at the same time was not something that could be achieved with just a little bit of fighting strength. Previously, Zhao Lingjiang relied on his sect's inheritance to suppress the underworld sect. That was why he was able to withstand the attack of the formation and severely injure the underworld sect's mid-stage golden core cultivator and the refined corpse of the same level. Zhao Lingjiang was already one of the top cultivators of the same level. Even if the sixth prince was stronger than him, there was a limit to it. The myriad spirit sect cultivators were about to attack when a thunderous water-type spiritual energy fluctuation came from the sixth prince's carriage. Then, a water-blue figure flew out from the sixth prince's carriage. He waved his long sword and a water-blue sword ray slashed at the flying warship and the 2 golden core cultivators of the myriad spirit sect. The sword ray came from the north to the south. The flying warship closer to the north was cut in half and none of the cultivators on the ship survived. The flying warship was very strong and had a defensive formation. It was much harder to damage a flying warship than to kill a cultivator of the same level. Even so, the 4th grade mid-grade flying warship was unable to withstand the sword ray. However, the flying warship also consumed the sword ray's power and bought some time for the others. The 2 myriad spirit sect cultivators hurriedly used their escape techniques and successfully escaped. The other flying warship at the southernmost point was the furthest away and easily dodged the attack. Although there was, the blue figure shouted out, "I am Minister of Zhao, Zhao Jinghua. Anyone who dares to offend me will be killed without mercy." Hearing this, the cultivators of the Zhao clan were very excited, while the others were confused. Zhao Jinghua looked to be in his 30s, and he didn't have any rotten aura on him. He shouldn't be too old. Zhao Lingjiang smiled and said, "So little uncle is here, then there's no need to be afraid." The palace master of the Cruel Sun Palace laughed. "I was wondering who it was, so it's the son of the last official of the state of Zhao. Your father is indeed powerful. His strength is second only to Zhao Lai Emperor. Back then, when you were just a Zifu disciple, you fled the capital with a group of juniors of the Zhao clan. I didn't think much of it and only sent a few Zifu disciples to chase after you. I didn't expect you to become a spirit after 500 years. Today, I will make up for the mistakes I made in the past." After saying that, he took out a long sword. This long sword was golden in color and was of the fire attribute. The spine of the sword was made from the bones of some kind of spirit beast, while the rest of the sword was made from some kind of transparent golden spirit material. Luo Jiuyo looked at the sword and smiled. "Old geezer Gold Sun, you're really generous. You even took out the Cruel Sun sword." Hearing that it was the Cruel Sun sword, everyone was shocked. The Cruel Sun sword was the personal weapon of the founder of the Cruel Sun Palace, Reverend Cruel Sunday. It was said that it was made from a piece of bone of the golden crow. As such, the Cruel Sun sword could release a trace of the power of the sun's true fire. Of course, no one believed this. They all believed that the bone of the Cruel Sun sword belonged to some kind of demon beast with the bloodline of the golden crow. Before Reverend Cruel Sun died, he shattered his golden core and fused it with the Cruel Sun sword. He also used a secret technique to fuse all of the Cruel Sun sword's runes with the golden crow's bone. As such, the juniors could refine the Cruel Sun sword for their own use and release the power of the Cruel Sun sword. The Cruel Sun sword was second only to the seal of mountains and rivers in the state of Zhao. In addition, the higher-ups of the Cruel Sun Palace were very strong in battle. With the Cruel Sun sword, Reverend Cruel Sun might not be weaker than Zhao Jinghua. He flew toward the 6th prince's carriage with the sword in hand, golden lights swirling around his body. A moment later, golden flames ignited on the long sword. He swung the long sword with force, and a giant sword made of golden flames appeared out of thin air, slashing toward the 6th prince's carriage. The 6th prince's carriage had already activated its defensive array and started to dodge. Zhao Jinghua put away the long sword in his hand and held it with both hands. Then, a blue longsword appeared out of thin air. There was a blue true dragon swimming on the longsword, faintly emitting the power of lightning. This was the man and sword as one. He didn't use the long sword, but directly used a sword cultivation spell. He loosened his hands and pointed at the golden flame sword in the air. The two swords clashed and were in a stalemate for a moment. The blue longsword shattered, and the flame sword didn't have much power left. Reverend Cruel Sun had the upper hand in this move. The remaining power of the flame sword slashed toward the 6th prince's carriage. The 6th prince's carriage had a large cabin, so it was inconvenient to dodge and couldn't avoid the attack. The somewhat dim flame sword slashed the warship, breaking the defensive array. The flame sword's power was exhausted, and it turned into golden flames that scattered on the warship. The magnificent cabin also burned. Zhao Jinghua cupped his hands and said, "I was incompetent and couldn't wipe out the rebels, causing your majesty's carriage to be damaged." An emotionless voice sounded, "It's fine." Then, a water dragon flew out of the cabin and stopped in midair. The water dragon dispersed, and a middle-aged cultivator wearing a blue dragon robe with a long sword at his waist appeared. This person had a long beard and a dignified appearance, but there was a sinister look on his face. This was the 6th prince, but the 12 crowns on his head had been replaced by a white jade crown with dragon patterns. He held the seal of mountains and rivers in his right hand and pressed the hilt of his sword with both hands. He said loudly, "Cultivators of the three sects, those who surrender will be let bygones be bygones, and those who betray will be rewarded land." The cultivators of the three sects looked disdainful. Master Jianyang asked, "Old Ghost Xianming, are you going to kill this long-legged prince or should I?" The myriad spirit sect master smiled. "You deal with Zhao Jinghua, and the Zhao family's inheritance restrains the Netherworld sect, so I can only do it." Then, his right hand stroked the yin and yang ring on his left hand, and a giant turtle more than 300 meters long appeared in front of him. This turtle was jet black, and it emitted a strong water spiritual energy and pure yin qi. Master Jianyang smiled. "I've always been curious. You raised a dragon bastard with a bad bloodline, but why is it called Master Xianming? It turns out that you were hiding a netherwater black turtle. With this guy, Dao Yu will surpass Master Yulong soon." The netherwater black turtle was also a half-divine beast, so its bloodline couldn't be too low. When breaking through to the 4th rank, there would definitely be a bloodline heavenly tribulation. In this way, it would definitely have a minor divine ability. A half-divine beast with a minor divine ability would rarely be a match for a human cultivator of the same rank who had comprehended a minor divine ability. Even Wang Daoyuan wasn't confident in taking down the netherwater black turtle without using all his trump cards. However, this netherwater black turtle was only of the 4th rank. Otherwise, the Zhao family cultivators wouldn't have to fight. The 6th prince could also use his family's unique skill and escape to Linhai Prefecture. Even if it was of the 4th rank, with the strength of the turtle shell, late-stage golden core cultivators would find it difficult to hurt him. Moreover, this was the Three River Market. The place where the 3 rivers intersected was the home ground of the netherwater black turtle. The 6th prince's spiritual energy surged as he threw out the seal of mountains and rivers and injected all his spiritual energy into it. A moment later, the seal of mountains and rivers grew to 300 meters square. He controlled the seal of mountains and rivers and smashed it at the netherwater black turtle. Master Xuanming's expression was indifferent, while the netherwater black turtle let out a low roar as if it was panting. Then, the river water within 100 miles seemed to boil and gathered toward the netherwater black turtle. 300 meters above him, a 3,000-meter-long black turtle phantom formed. Master Xianming also injected spiritual energy into the black turtle phantom to help the netherwater black turtle block the attack. Chapter 604. The seal of mountains and rivers could affect the spirit veins in the state of Zhao. Naturally, it could also use a small amount of the spirit veins' power. However, the 3 spirit veins nearby were all water spirit veins. After all, the netherwater black turtle's minor water control ability came from the divine beast black tortoise, which was the divine beast with the strongest water control ability. In the fight for the spirit vein, the seal of mountains and rivers was at a disadvantage. The seal of mountains and rivers landed on the back of the black tortoise. Both of them had borrowed some of the water spirit veins' power. The area within a radius of several hundred miles started to tremble, and huge waves started to roll up on the Wanchuan River. After 3 breaths of time, the spiritual energy of the seal of mountains and rivers was finally exhausted, and the black tortoise's phantom also collapsed. The underworld water black tortoise was slightly affected, but with its powerful physical strength, this injury was negligible. In this confrontation, the 6th prince had a slight advantage, but his expression was not good. Although the cultivators of the Zhao family were strong, they had too few people. He only had a slight advantage against Daoist Profound Ming. Zhao Jinghua was at a disadvantage against Daoist Gold Sunday. Zhao Lingjiang could only fight to a draw against the shield-wielding late-stage golden core cultivator from the Crescent Sun Palace. The strongest few of them were all held back. If this continued, there would be no hope of victory. Just as he had the thought of running away, Zhao Jinghua transmitted his voice, "Your Majesty, don't worry. The traitor Jin Yang can only temporarily suppress me by borrowing the power of the cruel sun sword." However, using this kind of magic tool consumed a lot of his spiritual energy and divine sense, so he couldn't hold on for long. The underworld water black tortoise's defense is adequate, but its attack is insufficient. Don't use the seal of mountains and rivers for now. Save your strength and look for an opportunity to attack. He told Gu Qingfeng to hold back the shield-wielding cultivator from the cruel Sun Palace while the other cultivators from the waterfront state held back the cultivators from the myriad spirit sect and the cruel Sun Palace. Ling Jiang, Ling Hai, and the others freed up their hands to kill the underworld sect cultivators as soon as possible. There were only 2 golden core cultivators from the underworld sect here. As long as they were all killed, there would be no one to control these refined corpses. All of a sudden, the enemy has lost 6 gold core cultivators, and our chance of victory has arrived. Hearing this, the 6th prince was somewhat moved. This time, he didn't want to run away again. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to shake off the title of long-legged prince. Moreover, the cultivators of the 3 sects would not let him leave so easily. Once he retreated, there would be no one left to protect him. At that time, under the encirclement of the cultivators of the 3 sects, the chances of him leaving alive would be next to none. Even if he managed to return, there would be no chance for him to restore his country. He could only live under someone else's roof. Since he still had a chance to win, he naturally had to give it a try. He put away the mountain and river seal and brought out a black dragon-patterned longsword. He sent a message to the other cultivators and began to use the blooming water thunder sword. Seeing him change his move, Daoist Master Xianming also took out a long sword and nervously faced him. His sword slashed out. It was not aimed at the Darkwater Black Turtle or Daoist Master Xianming. Instead, it was aimed at the other 2 spiritual beasts of the Myriad Spirit sect. One of them was a mid-grade 4th-grade golden-scaled drake, while the other was a golden condor that had fought with Lord Waterfront before. As the sword light flew over, a golden light flashed on the golden condor's body. In an instant, the golden condor flew up 1,000 feet and dodged the attack. The gold-plated drake wasn't so lucky. Its body was heavy and cumbersome, so it couldn't dodge in time. Moreover, it was a spirit beast with extremely thin dragon blood. When it broke through to the 4th rank, it did not undergo a bloodline heavenly tribulation, so naturally, it did not have any minor abilities. Its combat strength was not much stronger than an ordinary mid-stage golden core cultivator. It mobilized all the spiritual energy in its body to resist the sword light. In the end, it was useless. Its body, which was more than 100 feet long, was cut in half by the sword light. Its demon core was also shattered. The auspicious clouds under its body dissipated and its body fell into the river. Its blood dyed a large part of the river red. Daoist Master Xianming and the Darkwater Black Turtle were not very fast. They didn't have time to help at all. The other cultivators were also shocked and quickly pulled away from the 6th prince. The power of the Zhao family's blooming water thunder sword was too terrifying. At this moment, the Zhao family cultivators found an opportunity. Gu Qingfeng used an escape technique and summoned a sky full of yellow sand. Then, he disappeared in an instant. When he reappeared, his halberd was swinging at the shield-wielding cultivator of the cruel Sun Palace. Zhao Lingjiang freed up his hand and used the blooming water thunder sword to slash at Luo Jiuyo. Lord Waterfront and the other 3 Zhao family cultivators also immediately attacked the mid-stage golden core cultivator of the Netherworld sect and a few refined corpses. The cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace and the Myriad Spirit sect came back to their senses and wanted to help. The 7 golden core cultivators of the waterfront state were already prepared. Powerful moves were smashed over and they couldn't get away for a while. Daoist Master Jinyang wanted to help but was also held back by Zhao Jinghua. The flying warships were not qualified to participate in this kind of battle. After all, without a golden core cultivator, their reaction speed and flexibility couldn't keep up. They could only help from the periphery. Luo Jiuyo was also a veteran golden core cultivator and naturally had many life-saving methods in his hands. When Zhao Lingjiang's sword light slashed over, he immediately took out a shield and a sword to block it. When the sword light slashed over, the shield was broken into 2 and the long sword was seriously damaged. He was also implicated. However, he managed to block this move. At this moment, Lord Waterfront sent a blooming water divine thunder at Luo Jiuyo. A ghostly defensive light shield appeared on Luo Jiuyo's body and he used the damaged longsword to block it. In the end, the defensive light shield was broken and the sword was broken. Zhao Lingjiang also slashed out again and went straight for Luo Jiuyo. Luo Jiuyo hurriedly controlled the refined corpse to block this sword. In the end, a 4th-grade high-grade refined corpse's head was split open by this sword and even its corpse core was shattered. The remaining power of the sword light slashed onto Luo Jiuyo's body, causing him to be seriously injured. The other 3 Zhao family cultivators surrounded the mid-stage golden core cultivator of the underworld sect and the result was self-evident. The mid-stage golden core cultivator was killed instantly and the 4th-grade mid-grade refined corpse he controlled also went crazy after losing its master's control. The black bear refined corpse that went to block was also killed. In the blink of an eye, 3 of the 6 golden core cultivators of the underworld sect were dead, 1 injured and 1 out of control. Only 1 refined corpse was left with complete combat strength. Zhao Lingjiang wanted to follow up with another attack, but a late-stage golden core cultivator of the myriad spirit sect reacted and broke free from the Linhai cultivators to attack together with his spirit beast. Zhao Lingjiang could no longer pursue and could only turn around to block. Luo Jiuyo used this opportunity to save his life. The 7 Linhai prefecture cultivators who were defending against the 1,000 spirit sect cultivators were prepared in advance. In the situation where they were outnumbered, they were able to display a decent combat strength. They stalled 9 golden core cultivators of the myriad spirit sect in the cruel Sun Palace, as well as 5 flying warships. However, one of them was killed and another was severely injured. The 4 Zhao family cultivators were freed up. One of them dealt with the remaining refined corpses while the other chased after Luo Jiuyo. Lord Linhai and another Zhao family cultivator went to block the myriad spirit sect cultivators. Perfected being Xianming and the Netherwater Black Turtle wanted to attack but were blocked by the 6th prince. His nondescript flying warship was also harassing perfected being Xianming continuously to create opportunities for the 6th prince to attack. The entire battlefield was split into a few large groups. The 6th prince, Zhao Jinghua, Zhao Lingjiang and Gu Qingfeng were fighting their opponents far away from the Three River Market. 2 cultivators of the Zhao family were chasing after Luo Jiuyo and a refined corpse. There was also the largest group with 9 golden core cultivators and 5 flying warships that surrounded Lord Linhai's group of 8. Right then, 2 figures flew out of the Three River Market. One of them was the underworld sect cultivator that was severely injured by Zhao Lingjiang earlier on. The other was dressed as a myriad spirit sect cultivator who had been controlling the formation earlier on and did not reveal himself. Both of them were mid-stage golden core cultivators. The moment they appeared, they ambushed the Zhao family cultivator who was being surrounded. The 2 myriad spirit sect cultivators who participated in the encirclement also attacked him immediately. The Zhao family cultivator suffered 2 heavy blows after being ambushed and surrounded. A resolute expression appeared on his face and the spirit energy fluctuations around his body disappeared. The expressions of the 4 cultivators who surrounded him changed drastically. He was about to self-destruct his golden core. Everyone immediately dispersed. However, he turned around and chased after the 2 cultivators who ambushed him. A moment later, a loud explosion sounded and the Zhao family cultivator turned into a rain of blood. The aftermath of the explosion swept over 100 kilometers. The underworld sect cultivator who was severely injured earlier died on the spot. The myriad spirit sect cultivator who was controlling the formation earlier was also severely injured. Before he could react from his injuries, a Gue water divine lightning flew over. At that moment, he could not resist at all and was blown to pieces. Chapter 605. Naturally, it was Lord Waterfront who shot out this water divine lightning. Since his elder brother was forced to detonate his golden core, he naturally wouldn't let him die in vain and took the opportunity to kill the heavily injured enemy. A late golden core cultivator in exchange for 2 hidden mid-golden core cultivators wasn't a loss. However, the situation on the battlefield had become even more passive. On the side of the three sects, 8 golden core cultivators and 5 flying warships were fighting against 7 Zhao family cultivators. These 8 golden core cultivators weren't very strong, but the flying warships were difficult to deal with. Not everyone had the ability to destroy the flying warships. On the side of the 7 Zhao family cultivators, apart from Lord Waterfront, the other 6 weren't very determined. At this point, they didn't have much hope of winning. These 6 plus Gu Qingfeng could escape at any time. If they couldn't change the situation as soon as possible, the Zhao family cultivators could only watch helplessly. The 2 Zhao family cultivators who were dealing with Luo Jiuyo and the refined corpses were furious when they saw their old brother detonate his golden core. They wanted nothing more than to tear Luo Jiuyo apart. Although Luo Jiuyo wasn't very strong, his disgusting ability wasn't weak at all. He would release a dense black fog from time to time to block spiritual sense, making it impossible to lock onto him with spiritual sense. He couldn't dodge the spells of cultivators above the Zifu realm, but that was only if he locked onto his opponent with spiritual sense. If his spiritual sense couldn't lock onto his opponent, he wouldn't even know where to cast his spells. The two were flustered and exasperated. They no longer cared about Luo Jiuyo and desperately killed the last refined corpse. Then, they turned into 2 water dragons and approached Lord Waterfront's battle group. They also wanted to launch a sneak attack. After turning into water dragons, they attacked the heavy sword cultivator of the Crescent Sun Palace. This cultivator with a heavy sword had fought with Gu Qingfeng before and was even injured. Lord Waterfront knew their intentions and also attacked him. A mid-golden core cultivator was surrounded by 3 late golden core cultivators with superior combat strength. Even Wang Daoyuan would have to run for his life in such a situation. Unfortunately, this heavy sword cultivator didn't have any escape techniques that could block spiritual sense and couldn't dodge the water divine lightning. In the end, he was hit by 3 water divine lightning and died. Now, there were some changes in the strength of this large battle group. 9 people from the Zhao clan against 2 people from the 3 sects, 5 spiritual beasts, and 5 warships. Lord Linhai and the other 2 Zhao clan cultivators weren't weak at all. 1 against 2, they could still hold their own. From the looks of it, their strengths had been evened out instead. Daoist Master Xianming is somewhat anxious. He sends a voice transmission to Luo Jiuyo, "Old geezer Luo, your netherworld sect's people are trash. Weren't you very capable when you fought with our 2 sects? Why was the Zhao family so useless today? 7 Jindan realm cultivators. You're the only one left. Your netherworld sect is good at playing dirty tricks. You can't deal with the Zhao family, but can't you deal with the cultivators of Linhai State?" Luo Jiuyo felt embarrassed, but there was nothing he could do about it. The Zhao family had used thousands of years to thoroughly comprehend the blooming water divine thunder, and had integrated the might of the heavenly thunder into their own cultivation methods. Any of their spells could restrain the netherworld sect, not to mention the blooming water divine thunder. Most importantly, the Zhao clan was targeting the netherworld sect. Who could do anything about it? The Zhao clan was a 10,000-year-old imperial family. In terms of cultivation methods and magic inheritance, the 3 sects couldn't compare. Helpless, he could only go to the large battle group and use dirty tricks to attack the cultivators of Linhai State. Luo Jiuyo hid outside the battle group, using the flying warship to hide his figure. Then, he took out a black banner. Under the urging of spiritual power, 2 streams of black stench appeared on the black banner. These 2 streams of black gas quickly turned into 2 black snakes, attacking a cultivator of Linhai State. This cultivator of Linhai State had been seriously injured before and had barely held on until now. Before he could react, he was bitten by the 2 black snakes and instantly died. Now, there were only 5 Jindan realm cultivators left in Linhai State. They were somewhat afraid. After all, they had participated in this battle because the 6th prince had made a huge promise. Now, it seemed that they wouldn't be able to get any benefits and might even lose their lives. Lord Linhai was also one of the 13 families of Linhai. Naturally, he knew what these people were thinking. He immediately took out a 4th grade mid-grade extreme cold mysterious ice talisman and threw it at the only mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator. This person was a cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace. He was also the only mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator of the 3 sects who was still alive. A 4th grade mid-grade extreme cold mysterious ice talisman was enough to severely injure or even kill a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator. However, against a late-stage Jindan realm cultivator, it could only severely injure him at most. Now, they needed to kill someone to boost their morale and prevent the cultivators of Linhai State from escaping. Naturally, they had to pick a soft persimmon. This cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace was being suppressed by a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator of the Zhao family. Suddenly, a ball of extremely cold qi flew over. He didn't have time to dodge and was hit directly. He was frozen by the extremely cold qi, but his physical body was strong and he didn't die. However, the Zhao family wouldn't give him a chance to recover. 2 Gui water divine thunders flew over, shattering both the man and the ice. With each side losing 1 person and Luo Jioyo's sneak attack, the 3 sects only had a small advantage. Now, the cultivators of the 3 sects couldn't sit still. According to their intelligence, the Zhao family had left a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator at Wanchuan Market. This person was Gu Changqing. Wanchuan Market was their main base and naturally had to be guarded by someone. Gu Changqing's strength was considered top-notch among the mid-stage Jindan realm cultivators. It wasn't a problem for him to guard the rear. Other than that, if they really didn't care about the rear in Linhai State, they could still pull in a few early-stage Jindan realm cultivators. Usually, this group of people wouldn't be of much help. However, at this stage, one more early-stage Jindan realm cultivator could decide the outcome of the battle. Of course, the 3 sects could also pull in early-stage Jindan realm cultivators. However, these people were all seeds. If they died here, the sects would have no future. Within 300 years, these people would all pass away. By then, there would be no more Jindan realm cultivators in the sect. Xianming Zhenren shouted, "Jinyang old man, don't tangle with Zhao Jingguo anymore. If this continues, you won't be his match. Pick the soft persimmon. While you still have enough spirit qi, kill everyone in Linhai State first. I'll help you deal with Zhao Jingguo first." Then, he controlled the underworld water black turtle to form a black tortoise shadow and attack the 6th prince. The underworld water black turtle's attack wasn't even as strong as a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator, but it had no problem stalling the 6th prince at the intersection of the 3 rivers. Xianming Zhenren himself went to deal with Zhao Jingguo. As the master of a sect, he wasn't restrained by the Zhao family's inheritance. Stalling Zhao Jingguo for a while was no problem. After breaking away from Zhao Jingguo, Jinyang Zhenren's body burned with golden flames. A golden flame giant dozens of feet tall appeared out of thin air, holding a giant golden flame sword that was more than 100 feet long. This was a high-level body-refining technique. Only after practicing it to an extremely high level would one be able to cultivate a Dharma idol. The giant sword slashed at the remaining 5 cultivators of Linhai State. 1 person from the Myriad Spirit sect, 5 spirit beasts, and 5 flying warships also attacked the 5 cultivators of Linhai State. This sword carried the power of the Wanyang sword and Jinyang Zhenren's physical strength. Even if the 6th prince used the Mountain River Seal, it would be difficult for him to block it. Lord Linhai and the other 2 didn't dare to block it and used escape techniques to escape. It was already very difficult for them to be surrounded by 6 Jindan realm cultivators and 5 flying warships. Now that there was this shocking attack, how could he possibly withstand it? Of the 5 cultivators of Linhai State, 2 of them had better escape techniques and escaped the encirclement. The remaining 3 were instantly killed by this sword. Gu Qingfeng and the other 2 cultivators of Linhai State didn't want to continue fighting. They used escape techniques and fled downstream along the Wanchuan River. With this sword, Jinyang Zhenren had little spiritual power and divine sense left. He couldn't fight anymore. The cultivators of the 3 sects didn't stop him. They were already scared out of their wits and didn't dare to fight anymore. On the other hand, the Zhao family cultivators would be a disaster if they escaped. Zhao Jinghua shouted, "Your Majesty." The sixth prince's face revealed a hint of determination. He took out a snow-white talisman that was 1 foot long and half a foot wide. It flickered with 4th grade high-grade ice spiritual energy fluctuations. This was a blizzard-chilling talisman. This was a life-saving talisman that the sixth prince's daughter, Zhao Qingshuang, had asked for him. The cultivators of the 3 sects were naturally knowledgeable. When they saw this, their expressions changed. The future of the state of Zhao depended on how many people this snowstorm-chilling heavenly talisman could kill. Chapter 606. The sixth prince's spirit talisman was naturally thrown towards the place with the most enemies. Although the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture had either fled or died, there was still the Zhao clan left behind. Perfected Jin Yang, Luo Jiuyo, 5 flying warships, and the myriad spirit sect cultivators' 5 spirit beasts were still there. After the spirit talisman detonated, everyone immediately used escape techniques to escape. The spirit talisman came from the northeast direction of the battle, so most of them naturally fled to the southwest. However, the sixth prince was more than 130 kilometers away from them. The cold air and the spirit talisman flew towards them, but by the time it turned into a spell, most of them would be able to escape. The Zhao clan's escape techniques were more advanced, so it wasn't a problem for Lord Linhai and the other 2 to escape. The 3 of them turned into blue true dragons and fled to the southwest in front of everyone. One of the Zhao clan members, who looked like he could die at any moment, turned around and looked at the cultivators of the 3 sects behind him. If they continued to escape, the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman would be destroyed. He gradually slowed down and distanced himself from his 2 clan brothers. He didn't have long to live and fought hard, so there were many injuries on his body. Even if he escaped, he wouldn't be able to live for more than a few years. He retracted all his spirit energy into his golden core and prepared to detonate it. At this moment, Lord Linhai and the other Zhao clan cultivator had already flown more than 5 kilometers away and were still flying forward at an extremely fast speed. At this moment, detonating their golden cores would only cause them some minor injuries. The aftermath of the explosion could also allow them to distance themselves from the threat of the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman. With a loud explosion, the Zhao clan member instantly turned into a rain of blood. The cultivators of the 3 sects behind them were in an awkward situation. There was a blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman that could explode at any moment and a self-detonating golden core in front of them. The 2 spirit beasts immediately used escape techniques to increase their speed and change directions, flying to the southeast. Luo Jiuyo and the remaining myriad spirit sect cultivator burned their blood essence and true essence to follow behind the spirit beasts. The 3 spirit beasts also changed directions and fled with the spirit beasts. The 5 flying warships flew to the northwest. Perfected Jin Yang's spirit energy was already exhausted and his escape techniques weren't too brilliant. There wasn't much hope for him to escape with them. He burned his essence blood and used a secret technique to escape downwards. At the same time, he drew out a large amount of true essence from his golden core and infused it into the cruel sun sword. Whether or not he could keep his life depended on whether or not this magic tool that was close to the 5th level was reliable. Soon, the shockwave from the explosion of the golden core hit the cultivators of the 3 sects, causing them to slow down. Right at this moment, the ball of cold air released by the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman also spread out. Within a radius of 100 miles, everything was covered in snow. The reaction speed of the 3 spirit beasts was too slow, and they were hit head-on by the shockwave from the explosion of the gold core. They were pushed to the northeast by the shockwave, right at the center of the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman. Their fates were obvious. They were directly turned into ice sculptures. The 5 flying warships had been cruising around the edge of the battlefield. Although they couldn't use escape techniques, their speed was still not slow. Only 2 ships were seriously damaged by the explosion of their golden cores. They were unable to avoid the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman and turned into ice sculptures. The other 3 ships were closer to the edge. They had not stayed in the snowstorm for long, and they were protected by formations, so they were not badly damaged. Two spirit beasts were fast enough and had innate dermic arts that increased their speed. They managed to avoid the explosion of their golden cores and the snowstorm without suffering any injuries. Although Luo Jiuyo and the Thousand Spirits sect cultivator followed behind the spirit beasts, they were not fast enough. Luo Jiuyo was better off as his escape technique was better. As the master of a sect, he had many protective treasures. Even though he sacrificed 2 treasures and was severely injured, he still had the strength to fight. The Thousand Spirits sect cultivator was slightly slower and was affected by the aftershocks. He used a protective treasure and was severely injured. He was already old and now, he was severely injured. Although he managed to escape, there was basically no hope for him to recover. Everyone else was affected by the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman. Perfected being Gold's son was the only one who took the brunt of the attack. However, he did not die. 3 of his protective treasures were destroyed. Coupled with the remnant sun's sword and the protection of the golden flames, he managed to preserve his life. More than 80% of his essence blood was consumed and the true essence in his golden core was extracted, causing his cultivation realm to drop. Initially, his cultivation was close to peak golden core. But now, he was only at mid-stage golden core. The remnant sun sword was also severely damaged by the snowstorm-chilling heavenly talisman. Perfected Jin Yang and the remnant sun sword would not be able to recover without 10 to 20 years of effort. Lord Lin Hai and the other Zhao family clansmen who were running at the front were only slightly injured by the explosion of their golden cores. At this moment, the Zhao family only had 5 people and a flying warship left. However, only the 6th prince's combat strength was intact. He was not injured at all and did not consume much spirit energy. He also had the mountain river seal in his hands. Zhao Jinghua had used up a lot of his spirit energy and spirit consciousness to fight perfected Jin Yang head-on. He also suffered many internal injuries. Zhao Lingjiang was the main force in killing the underworld sect cultivator. Later on, he fought against 2,000 spirit sect cultivators and a golden condor. Although he was not injured, he did not have much spirit energy and spirit consciousness left. Lord Lin Hai and the other clansmen not only consumed a lot of spirit energy, they also suffered many injuries. On the side of the 3 sects, the underworld sect only had a half-injured Luo Jiuyo. The remnant Sun Palace had a late-stage golden core cultivator and a half-dead perfected Jin Yang. The myriad spirits sect had the most combat strength left. The underworld water black tortoise was almost intact. Perfected Xianming was slightly injured and consumed a lot of spirit energy to deal with Zhao Jinghua. The man and the condor who were dealing with Zhao Lingjiang still had the strength to fight. The other 2 spirit beasts still had combat strength. The late-stage golden core cultivator was seriously injured and dying. In addition, there were 3 flying warships that were almost intact. The effect of this blizzard-chill heavenly talisman was not ideal. The 3 sects were still stronger than the Zhao family. The 3 sects could only rely on the underworld water black tortoise to stall the 6th prince. The underworld water black tortoise was good at defense but not offensive enough to cause harm to the 6th prince. Zhao Jinghua could completely suppress the underworld water black tortoise, but he could not kill him in a short time. Lord Lin Hai and the late-stage golden core cultivator were injured. Facing 2 spirit beasts and 2 warships, as well as the half-injured Luo Jiuyo, they could not hold on for long. After Gu Qingfeng escaped, the late-stage golden core cultivator of the remnant Sun Palace had no opponent. He was now saving perfected Jin Yang. When he was free, the Zhao family would be even more passive. If the 6th prince could temporarily stall the underworld water black tortoise with the flying warship, he would still have a chance to kill the late-stage golden core cultivator of the remnant Sun Palace. The risk was not small. If someone self-detonated their golden core, he would be seriously injured or even lose his life. If he had the courage to risk his life, the 3 sects would have been defeated 500 years ago. Why wait until today? Now that he did not have the means to win, he thought of his unique skill again. After transmitting his voice to the other 4 members of the Zhao family, he took the flying warship and fled to the east. However, he was very decisive in his escape. He cut off the huge cabin of the flying warship with a sword. This way, the warship would be more agile and faster. The remaining 4 members of the Zhao family really wanted to curse him. Zhao Lingjiang and Zhao Jingguo were stronger than their opponents. After repelling their opponents, they immediately turned into blue true dragons and flew to the east. Lord Linhai and the other Zhao family cultivator were in an awkward situation. Although they were far away from the 3 sects and were not attacked, they were alone and without help. Moreover, they were in the southwest of the 3-river market. It was a bit difficult to run to the east. However, after receiving the 6th prince's transmission, they turned into blue true dragons and flew to the east with all their strength. The cultivators of the 3 sects came to their senses and were not in a hurry to chase after the 6th prince. That guy did not lose much spiritual power and was not injured at all. He also had the mountain river seal. Even the underworld water black tortoise could not withstand his full strength attack without the confluence of the 3 rivers. However, the remaining 2 golden core cultivators of the Zhao family could not be let go. Chapter 607. The refined corpse of the Netherworld sect that had gone out of control due to the death of its master was also turned into an ice sculpture by the Blizzard Chill Heavenly Talisman. Luo Jiuyo was the only cultivator left in the battle and he did not dare to attack the remaining 2. The Zhao family was unfortunate to have produced a trash like the 6th prince. However, the other members of the Zhao family were famous for being rash. Once they were in a desperate situation, they would self-destruct their golden cores without hesitation. The cultivation techniques that the 2 of them cultivated had the power of thunder. Once they self-destructed, those who cultivated evil cultivation techniques would not be able to withstand it at all. This time, the Netherworld sect was almost wiped out. If he died in battle, it would be difficult for the Netherworld sect to survive even if the remaining members of the Zhao family were completely destroyed. Over at the Cruel Sun Palace, perfected Jin Yang was half dead and the remaining golden core cultivator naturally had to protect him. Perfected Xianming knew what was going on and shouted, "Cultivators of the Myriad Spirit sect, kill these 2 golden core cultivators of the Zhao family with all your might." Old Fogey Luo, I'll leave the low-level cultivators around the 3-river market to you. Dao Yu, who has never appeared in the Cruel Sun Palace, send Jinyang Dao Yu back to the Cruel Sun Palace to recuperate. We can't be careless at the Cold River Pass either. If the Wei country breaks through the Cold River Pass, our 3 sects will be completely finished. With that, he landed on the ground and healed the late-stage golden core cultivator who was severely injured by the Blizzard Chill Heavenly Talisman. The others naturally had no objections. The late-stage golden core cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace brought perfected Jin Yang and the 2 disciples who had died in battle back to the Cruel Sun Palace. Luo Jiuyo shouted, "If the affiliated families of the 3 sects turn over a new leaf, you can protect your family and atone for your crimes. Those who resist will be killed without mercy." The 6th prince fled. Not only did he leave behind the golden core cultivators, but he also left behind a large number of low-level cultivators. These people were nurtured by the Zhao family for many years, itinerant cultivators recruited from the Linhai prefecture and cultivators from the various families of the Linhai prefecture. Of course, most of them were itinerant cultivators and family cultivators who had gone to the west of the sky/mountain range. With golden core cultivators fighting nearby, these low-level cultivators were inevitably affected and the casualties were not small. When Gu Qingfeng and the rest fled, many cultivators of the Linhai prefecture had also fled. Hence, their losses were not great. When the 6th prince fled, these low-level cultivators also scattered in all directions. The cultivators nurtured by the Zhao family, on the other hand, fought to the death without retreating. Almost all of them were killed or injured. Many of them were cultivators from the main branch of the Zhao family. Now that they had heard Luo Jiuyo's words, the cultivators of the clans who had been forcibly conscripted no longer ran away. The rogue cultivators did not care about this. They were all single and had no family or job. What crime? If he ran away, he wouldn't be guilty of anything. The Linhai state cultivators who were still resisting were quickly dealt with. The Myriad Spirit sect's 3 spirit beasts, a golden core cultivator and 3 flying warships began to encircle Lord Waterfront and Lord Waterfront. At this moment, the 2 of them were in the form of blue true dragons south of the Wanchuan River, flying east with all their might. Their speed was extremely fast, but compared to the spirit beasts, they were still a little lacking. Moreover, the escape technique could not be used for a long period of time. A rank 4 spirit bird could fly for a few months, so they wouldn't be able to escape if they continued. The mid-grade tier 4 flying warship was unable to keep up with the speed, so it could only follow from a distance. The late-stage golden core cultivator of the myriad spirit sect rode his golden eagle and flew along the Wanchuan River, wanting to go around to the front to intercept the 2. Looking at the approaching pursuers, Lord Waterfront laughed bitterly. "Brother Linghan, I'm afraid the 2 of us will have to meet the ancestor. Uncle and Brother Linghan might as well escape. With Uncle here, our Zhao clan's inheritance will remain." Zhao Linghan said solemnly, "I'm already over 900 years old, and the grave is already up to my neck. The men of the Zhao clan take pride in dying in battle, so I should also meet the ancestor. But Linghan, you definitely cannot die. You are the link between the Zhao clan and the clans of Linhai State. If you die, the clans of Linhai State will no longer be used by our Zhao clan. I'll block the pursuers for you, and you take the opportunity to escape into the Wanchuan River. These 3 spirit beasts are not of the water attribute, so after you enter the water, they won't be able to catch you." Then, he handed a jade pendant to Lord Waterfront and continued, "This is my last life-saving means. You must return alive. I was really blind back then to actually support that evil beast Zhao Lingtian. Our Zhao clan's foundation has all been ruined by him. After you return, you must ask Uncle to depose that evil beast Zhao Lingtian." Back then, the eldest prince also had a backup plan, but unfortunately, he died in battle before he could use it. His backup plan was handed over to the 9th prince through his subordinates. The 9th prince is resolute and brave. You, Uncle, and Linghan assisted him together to tie the last of our Zhao clan's foundation into a rope. The 2 brothers haven't gone far yet, so I'll accompany them. After you succeed in reviving the country, don't forget to tell me." Then, he turned around and flew towards the 3 spirit beasts of the 1,000 spirit sect. Lord Waterfront flew towards the Wanchuan River with tears in his eyes. Before he entered the water, he heard an earth-shaking explosion and a spirit beast scream. Gu Qingfeng and the other golden core cultivators received news from their clansmen that the 3 sects didn't attack. So, they didn't rush back to Linhai State. They temporarily guarded the Wanchuan market and sent people to gather the fleeing clansmen. Soon, the 6th prince's carriage fled back to the Wanchuan market. After half an hour, Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Lingjiang finally returned. The 6th prince didn't even want to wait for his clansmen. He made them run back on their own with injuries and exhausted their spiritual power. 2 hours later, Lord Waterfront emerged from the Wanchuan River and entered the Wanchuan market. At this moment, his clothes were tattered and his body was covered in wounds. They arrived at the meeting hall of the Wanchuan market's guardian residence. Lord Waterfront comforted Gu Qingfeng and the other cultivators before letting them leave. Only the 4 members of the Zhao clan were left in the meeting hall. Lord Waterfront took out his natal magic weapon and pointed at the 6th prince. "Zhao Lingtian, are you a member of the Zhao clan or not? Do you have any backbone?" If it was in the past, Zhao Jinghua would definitely reprimand him. But now, Zhao Jinghua didn't say a word and Zhao Lingjiang also pretended not to hear. Seeing Zhao Jinghua's silence, the 6th prince angrily rebuked, "Zhao Linghai, how dare you speak to me like that? Bah! What kind of bullshit emperor are you? Without my support, you'd still be that long-legged prince. I'm the imperial emperor's hereditary Lord Waterfront. You're just a prince. What right do you have to shout at me? Today, because of your escape, my Zhao clan of Waterfront lost over 1,000 disciples. Among them, over 20 are my children and grandchildren, and over 100 are my nephews and grandnephews. When Brother Linghan and I escaped, those juniors still fought to the death. They fought to the death and couldn't bring them back. I'm sorry for them, but my Waterfront clan is worthy of our ancestors. What about you, Zhao Lingtian? Have you shed a drop of blood for the Zhao clan? Have you lost a descendant? When the eldest prince was attacked, you just sat there and watched. Attacked by the three sects, you had a few experts of your clan, but you only knew how to run. Today, 3 brothers died in battle, but you didn't want to take any risks. If you had a bit of courage and dared to take the attack of the Netherwater Black Turtle, you would have killed the Netherwater Black Turtle. Even in the end, if you had a bit of courage, you could have killed the 2 late-stage Golden Core cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace. But you only knew how to run. I must have been blind to support you. Little uncle, that year, great uncle asked you to assist the future emperor in reviving the country, but he didn't say you had to assist the long-legged prince. The 9th prince is much stronger than him. The 6th prince was flustered and exasperated. He took out the mountain river seal and was about to attack. At this moment, Zhao Jinggua and Zhao Lingjiang also took out their swords and pointed them at him. Zhao Jinggua angrily rebuked, according to the Zhao clan's rules, no matter what status one has, fleeing in the face of battle is punishable by death. As the imperial official, I'm in charge of the imperial family's affairs. Now, I have the right to kill you according to the clan's rules. Now is the time to use people, so I'll spare your life. But you actually attacked a meritorious official. You deserve to die. Besides being the son of the Lai Emperor, you're useless. The Lai Emperor has more than one son. The 9th prince is still alive, and so is the eldest grandson of the eldest prince. If you continue to be the emperor, our Zhao clan will die. If someone else becomes the emperor, there's still hope of reviving the country. For the sake of reviving the country, you should abdicate. Chapter 608. The 6th prince couldn't believe his ears. Back then, these cultivators had supported him with all their might. Even when he fled to Linhai, no one dared to disrespect him. But now, not only did no one speak up for him, they even wanted to force him to abdicate. He held the seal of mountains and rivers and roared, "I'm the Emperor of Zhao. How dare you offend me?" Lord Linhai said disdainfully, "The Emperor sees his subjects as his brothers, and the subjects see the Emperor as their confidants. The Emperor sees his subjects as weeds, and the subjects see the Emperor as enemies. In order to escape, you treated us like weeds and abandoned us. Naturally, we see you as an enemy. Now that you've been betrayed, you can just abdicate and fight for the new emperor. You can even become a king." The 6th prince sneered, "You're all injured. You're no match for me." Zhao Lingjiang narrowed his eyes and looked at the 6th prince. "I'm not young anymore and I've lived long enough. Uncle is responsible for the Zhao clan's inheritance, and Lord Linhai is the link between all the clans in Linhai. I'm the only one who's useless. Why don't I detonate my Jindan and destroy you, a coward who is afraid of death and fights with your own family?" Hearing this, the 6th prince was a bit scared. Zhao Jinggua said disdainfully, "You still haven't learned the skills left by the ancestors. Believe it or not, I can kill you with one strike right now." The 6th prince was even more scared. Zhao Jinggua was the #1 genius of the Zhao clan in 1,000 years. He established his Violet Palace in his 70s and became one with the sword before he was 100 years old. Previously, he was able to fight head-on with Daoist Jinyang and gradually gain the upper hand. Even with the seal of mountains and rivers, he wasn't sure he could defeat Zhao Jinggua. Moreover, from what he said, he still had some tricks up his sleeve. After thinking for a long time, he sighed and said, "I'm willing to abdicate, but you have to promise me a king title." Zhao Jinggua replied, "How can we have the right to be a king? It's up to the new emperor to decide what title to give you. Now that the Zhao clan is poor and Zhao Liang isn't strong. He also has no prestige, so the 9th prince should be the new emperor. The 9th prince is benevolent and won't kill his brothers. At the very least, he'll give you the title of duke or marquis. Whether you can be a king or not, it depends on how much you can contribute in the future." He was a coward to begin with, and the courage to fight with his life on the line when he was in a fit of rage had disappeared. As long as he was not killed, he would not dare to risk his life even if he became a commoner. Now that he had the title of duke, which was not much different from the title of prince, it was already quite good. He removed the ownership of the seal of mountains and rivers and handed it to Zhao Jinghua. I am willing to abdicate the throne to ninth brother. Zhao Jinghua took the seal of mountains and rivers and said, Linghai, you still have some clansmen. Go to the Green Willow province and ask the ninth prince to come and inherit the throne. Also, send someone to pay a visit to the Wang clan to improve their relationship with them. The reason why the Wang family was willing to take Zhao Liang in was because of the Zhao family. We've offended all the families in the state of Zhao. Without their support, we don't have much of a chance of winning. The Wang family still had some prestige among these old families. Putting the Wang family in an important position could also set an example for the other old families. Even if he couldn't get them to join him, he could at least get some families to remain neutral. There was also Ling Yan from the Beiyuan sword sect. He had been injured at the 9 Underworld mysterious crystal mine. Even though he had not recovered yet, he still had some combat strength left. He has many subordinates and is an important force. Send someone to contact him. Lord Linhai clasped his hands in acknowledgement and left to give orders. Wang Daoyuan did not work hard on cultivating the Cloud and Rain Heart Sutra in the past few days in his abode under Jade Spring Peak. Instead, he modified his movement technique near the Fire Eye. It was hard to say how the war between the Zhao family and the 3 sects would develop. He would not be able to avoid fighting Golden Core cultivators. The only profound movement techniques he knew were the Cloud Mist Escape and Scarlet Wan Fire Escape. The Scarlet Wan Fire Escape was incompatible with his Violet Palace phenomenon, so he modified it to become the Vermilion Bird Fire Escape. The Vermilion Bird and the Scarlet Wan were both phoenixes. They shared many similarities, so it was not difficult to modify them. The modified Vermilion Bird Fire Escape combined with his Violet Palace phenomenon, making him much faster. Fire elemental movement techniques had always been known for their speed. Coupled with the fact that the Scarlet Wan Fire Escape was a legacy of the Zhou family, it was obviously extremely profound. Right now, the Vermilion Bird Fire Escape speed could be considered above average among level 4 movement techniques. After all, he had modified it in a hurry. There were still many areas where it was lacking. It was still a distance away from the best movement techniques. In addition, he also cultivated the Gu family's Flood Dragon Escape. Fighting in the state of Zhao was inseparable from water. His Cloud Mist Escape could not compare to the Flood Dragon Escape in water. He did not modify the Flood Dragon Escape. After all, he did not have the Water Dragon phenomenon. The Azure Dragon was of the wood attribute. Although it had no problems in water because it was a dragon, it was not good at controlling water. The Black Tortoise was not known for its speed. No matter how he modified the Flood Dragon Escape, it would not be of much use to him. Zhou Wan walked over from the backyard. Administrator, you've come to work again. The Zhao family and the 3 sects had a decisive battle in the 3 River Market. The Zhao family was defeated, and the 3 sects also suffered heavy losses. Only 4 Golden Core cultivators of the Zhao family escaped back to the Wanchuan market. After that, there seemed to be internal strife, and the long-legged prince was forced to abdicate. Zhao Jinghua and the others are preparing to welcome the 9th prince to the throne. They will probably send someone to contact you. Wang Daoyuan smiled. How can it be so easy for me to make a move? Right now, it's still hard to say whether the 2 sides are strong or weak. Let's play dumb and see whether the 2 sides are strong or weak. Moreover, our Wang family is not involved now. Both sides want to rope us in. Right now, we're waiting for the best price. How can we easily declare our position? Right, what's Zhao Jinggua's background? Does he have any minor divine abilities? According to the previous intelligence, this person is extremely strong. I'm afraid he's not much weaker than Master before he broke through to the half-step Yuanying. Zhou Wan shook her head. He stays in Linhai all year round. Blood Shadow doesn't have many records of him making a move. We only know that when the Zhao family was destroyed, he was already one with the sword before he was even 100 years old. He was a sword cultivator genius second only to the swordless Taoist. As for whether he has any minor divine abilities, there's no way to know. Soon, the 12th uncle sent a letter saying that the Zhao family had come to visit. The visitor was a late-stage Sifu cultivator who claimed to be the nephew of the Linhai king. He wanted to see Wang Daoyuan. Naturally, he would not receive a late-stage Sifu cultivator. He just had the 12th uncle chat with him and send him off. Before Zhuge Liang came out of the mountains, Liu Bei had to visit him 3 times. How could it be so easy to get him to surrender with the administrator's estate? If he didn't put on airs, it would be difficult to ask for a price. In less than 2 days, the underworld sect's vice lord, Gu Wanzong, personally came to visit Yuchuan Peak. Wang Daoyuan had long expected that the underworld sect would come. After the Battle of the Three River Market, the underworld sect's assets were almost exhausted. At this time, they naturally wanted to rope in their nominal subordinate force. In order to let the Zhao family know that the underworld sect came to rope him in, Wang Daoyuan personally rode a cloud outside the mountain to welcome Gu Wanzong. He invited him to his own hall and asked, "Gu Daoyu, if there's anything, just send a message. The battle outside is not over yet. Why do you take the risk?" Gu Wanzong cupped his hands and said, "After the Battle of the Three River Market, our underworld sect suffered heavy losses. I'm afraid that in the future, we will become the weakest sect. Grand Elder, please disregard the past and return to the underworld sect to strengthen the sect." Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "Yannan County has never left the underworld sect. Daoyu, don't worry. The stability of Zhao is what I want to see. If the underworld sect declines, my Yannan County is no match for the cruel Sun Palace." Gu Wanzong didn't talk about anything serious. He had been talking about the hundreds of years of friendship between the Wang family and the underworld sect. It seemed that the situation of the underworld sect was really bad. Luo Jiuyo, that insidious villain, panicked and sent Gu Wanzong to rope in their relationship. One would not hit a smiling person. Wang Daoyuan naturally laughed along with him. Anyway, the longer they talked, the more anxious the Zhao family would be. They would have to offer a higher price to rope him in. After all, the position of Yannan County was too important. If the Wang family continued to follow the underworld sect, the Zhao family's forces in Shanbei, Bovliu, and Wanshuan Market would be divided into 3 parts. After talking for 4 or 5 hours, Gu Wanzong planned to leave. Wang Daoyuan rode a cloud and sent him 100 miles west of Yuchuan Peak. Chapter 609. The Wang family could negotiate with the Zhao family and the underworld sect slowly, but they couldn't make a decision. Choosing who to cooperate with depended not only on which side offered the highest price, but also on the situation at Wuching Pass. After the Three River Market Square battle, the 3 sects' assets were almost all revealed. The people left in the hinterland of Zhao state were not difficult to deal with, but there were still 15 golden core cultivators at Wuching Pass. Among them, there were 5 from the Netherworld sect. 4 of them were at the late stage of the Golden Core realm, and 1 was at the middle stage. There were 7 people from the Thousand Spirits sect. 5 of them were in the late stage of the Golden Elixir realm and 2 were in the middle stage. There were 3 people from the Remnant Sun Palace, 2 in the late Golden Core realm and 1 in the middle Golden Core realm. Most of the cultivators of the Underworld sect and Myriad Spirits sect had grade 4 refined corpses and spirit beasts. Of course, their fighting ability was slightly weaker. The strength of an ordinary 4th level upper grade spirit beast was not comparable to that of a late stage Golden Core human cultivator. Previously, the late Golden Core cultivator of the Myriad Spirits sect and his spirit beast were only able to fight to a draw with a single Zhao family member. The late Golden Core cultivators of the Myriad Spirits sect and their spirit beasts were only on par with cultivators of the same level as them, roughly at the level of Lord Waterfront. Although he couldn't compare to 2 cultivators of the same level, he was still stronger than Gu Qingfeng, who was a cultivator of the same level. Wang Daoyuan estimated that his strength was about the same as Zhao Lingjiang's if he used a lesser divine ability and did not expose his spiritual fire. He was better than Lord Linhai, but not as good as Long-Legged Prince, and not as good as Zhao Jinghua. Together with the Red-Winged Crow, they had the combat power of two Lord Linhai. The Golden Core cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace were not weak in battle. The late-stage Golden Core cultivators of the Thousand Spirits sect and the Cruel Sun Palace at Wuchang Pass were as strong as Lord Linhai. Two Golden Core middle-stage cultivators from the Myriad Spirit sect and a Spirit Beast, their strength was about the same as the Red-Feathered Crow. The mid-stage Golden Core cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace were slightly weaker. They were at Gu Changqing's level. The three of them together could barely be counted as two Lord Linhai's combat strength. As for the Underworld sect, except for Zhong Zhenyang, the others could not display the strength of a late-stage Golden Core cultivator in front of the Zhao family. Zhong Zhenyang had a minor divine ability, so it was hard to say whether he was strong or weak. Different minor divine abilities would increase one's strength differently. The 5 people from the Underworld sect added together could be counted as 3 times the combat power of Lord Linhai. He also had to consider Daoist Master Xianming and Daoist Master Yulong. The spiritual beasts they raised had high bloodlines, so their strength naturally surpassed ordinary spiritual beasts. The two of them, together with their spirit beasts, were definitely stronger than the current Wang Daoyuan. Even if they were not as strong as Zhao Jinghua, they should not be weaker than the 6th prince. The Tier 4 flying warship, on the other hand, was gone. These things were all bought from the Divine Weapon Pavilion and could not be hidden from others. The 6 flying warships that had appeared earlier were all the Tier 4 flying warships of the 3 sects. Now, only 3 remained. If the cultivators of the 3 sects at Wuchang Pass could come back unscathed, together with the cultivators left behind to guard the place, there would be 17 to 18 times the fighting strength of Lord Linhai. If the 3 sects hadn't emptied their coffers, then it would be even more than that. Even if the Zhao family had a lot of backup plans, it was unlikely that they could gather so many late-stage Golden Core cultivators. Under such circumstances, the Wang family naturally could not side with the Zhao family. However, it was impossible for Song Yan to let the cultivators of the 3 sects leave safely. There would definitely be casualties. The Wang family's stance depended on how many cultivators of the 3 sects could come back. After seeing off Gu Wangzong, Wang Daoyuan returned to the underground cave residence and asked Zhou Wan, "What's the situation at Wuchang Pass?" Zhou Wan replied, "The 2 sides are still fighting a tug-of-war behind Wuchang Pass. No Golden Core cultivators have appeared. However, since the Zhao family began to move against the 3 River Market half a month ago, there seems to be some movement in the Song Kingdom as well. Some important industries have been heavily guarded." The Blood Shadow branch in the Song Kingdom speculated that Song Yan might have mobilized the Golden Core cultivators hidden in the Song Kingdom. Wang Daoyuan nodded. "Then let's play dumb for a while longer. We'll talk about it after the Wuchang Pass." At this time, an early-stage Golden Core cultivator and a late-stage Zifu cultivator left for Wanshuan Market in Green Willow Province. Half a day later, the early-stage Golden Core cultivator returned to Green Willow Province. Early the next morning, 3 cultivators wearing spirit restriction silk cloaks left Green Willow Province on their swords and headed for Wanshuan Market. Lord Linhai led the 3 to the 6th prince's palace. At this time, the 6th prince was wearing a blue dragon robe and a crown of 12 heads. He was sitting high above. Zhao Jinghua held the Mountain River seal in his hand while Zhao Lingjiang held a silk book in his hand. They stood on either side of the throne. The cultivators of Linhai province sat on either side of the throne. The 3 cloaked cultivators took off their cloaks and bowed to the 6th prince. "Greetings, Your Majesty. We are Zhao Lingxiao, Shi Zhizhong, and Wu Mingjue." The 9th prince's appearance was quite similar to the 6th prince's. He had long eyebrows, bright eyes, a sharp nose, and a big mouth. However, there was less viciousness in his eyes, and more resoluteness. The 6th prince's voice trembled. "9th brother, Heian Commandery Duke, Linchuan Marquis, please rise." Then, Zhao Lingjiang opened the silk book in his hand and began to read. This silk book was the 6th prince's abdication edict. The edict was written in the sixth prince's tone. At the end, it was self-criticism. He said that he couldn't inherit the ancestral temple and would abdicate the throne to his ninth brother, Zhao Lingxiao. He hoped that he could restore the foundation of his ancestors and revitalize the state of Zhao. The ninth prince bowed and refused to accept the edict. Lord Linhai, Shi Zhizhong, and Wu Mingjue bowed to the ninth prince and asked him to accept the edict. Zhao Lingjiang and the cultivators of Linhai province bowed and asked the ninth prince to leave. The sixth prince walked down from the throne and put the crown on the ninth prince's head. He took off his dragon robe and put it on the ninth prince. He bowed and said, "I'm incompetent and can't restore the state of Zhao. Brother, please take the foundation of your ancestors as the most important thing and inherit the throne." After the ninth prince put on his dragon robe and crown, he helped the sixth prince up. The three sects rebelled and the foundation of the Zhao clan was destroyed. I have no choice but to shoulder this heavy burden. In the future, when the state is restored, I'll return it to you. Zhao Jinghua handed the seal of mountains and rivers to the ninth prince. He bowed and received it with both hands. Then, he walked to the throne with the seal of mountains and rivers and accepted the worship of the officials. The abdication of an emperor required many days of politeness and persuasion. They were just making do with what they had and went through the process with little effort. Afterward, Lord Linhai reported to Zhao Lingxiao about the current strength of the Zhao clan. Including Zhao Lingyan, there were only 5 late-stage golden core cultivators of the Zhao clan. There were 3 late-stage golden core cultivators and 3 mid-stage golden core cultivators in Linhai province. Shi Zhizhong also reported the strength of Zhao Lingxiao's forces. There were 3 late-stage golden core cultivators and 2 mid-stage golden core cultivators. Zhao Lingyan and the 3 late-stage golden core cultivators of Linhai province were inferior to Lord Linhai. At most, they were 12 or 13 times stronger than Lord Linhai. Among them, the sixth prince was an unstable factor. Overall, there was still a big gap between them and the 3 sections. Lord Linhai asked, "Your Majesty, may I ask what our next step is? Are we going to attack the 3 river market again? Knowing this, I can make preparations in advance." Zhao Lingxiao shook his head. "We can't act rashly. Once we take the 3 river market, Song State will capture Wucheng Pass. At that time, it will be completely impossible for us to unify Zhao State. We'd better attack the other industries of the 3 sects first and consume their strength. I've been training cultivators in Linhai province for more than 100 years and recruited many people. I've been training soldiers for more than 100 years. It's time for them to take action. In addition, we have to rope in the Wang clan. I've sent people to contact Wang Daoyuan before. He's also interested in helping the Zhao clan. They've done business for more than 100 years. However, when he received Gu Wangzong of the underworld sect with great fanfare, he probably hasn't made up his mind yet. What he's waiting for is not only our offer, but also the outcome of the battle at Wucheng Pass. I'll send people to keep in touch with the Wang clan and find out his background. Lord Linhai, gather as many resources as possible from Linhai province. As for the others, recuperate from your injuries. If you can improve your strength in a short time, do so as soon as possible to prepare for the decisive battle in the future." Everyone cupped their hands in acknowledgement and went to make preparations. Chapter 610. The people of Linhai Prefecture and the Duke of Linhai left. In order to avoid embarrassment, the sixth prince also got up and left. Only the 3 people of the Zhao clan, Shi Zhizhong, and Wu Mingjue were left in the meeting hall. Zhao Lingxiao ordered, "County Duke Heiyang, tell Shi Zhenbang to talk to Wang Daoyuan again. As long as the Wang clan sets things right, I will enfeoff the entire Qingli prefecture to the Wang clan and keep Jinyan city. Wang Daoyuan himself will be conferred the title of County Prince Qingli, like the Duke of Linhai, hereditary. Marquis Linchuan, go back to Green Willow Prefecture and bring half of the subordinates we have trained here. Remember, take them away from the edge of Tianzhan mountain range, so as to avoid any unpleasantness with the Wang clan." The 2 bowed and said, "Yes, Your Majesty." Wang Daoyuan studied his minor divine arts in the underground cave of Yuchuan Peak. He had already mastered the escape technique, so without some tempering, it would be difficult to improve. The best way to improve his methods was to study the combination of minor divine arts and other methods. 3 days later, news came from the 12th uncle. When the cultivators of the Demon Execution Department were hunting demon beasts, they found more than 20 rank 3 flying warships in Green Willow Prefecture, flying towards Wanchuan Market. However, the flying warships did not enter Yannan Prefecture, but went south along the edge of Tianzhan mountain range. Wang Daoyuan did not find it strange. Previously, Zhou had sent news that the Zhao clan had a new emperor. The 9th prince had ascended the throne, so he naturally had to pull some of his subordinates over. They did not enter the Wang clan's territory, so Wang Daoyuan naturally did not care about this matter. Soon, news came from the small market of Jingtai Mountain that Shi Zhenbang wanted to see him. Wang Daoyuan did not plan to hide anymore. At this time, there was no need. He directly let Shi Zhenbang come to Yuchuan Peak and personally receive him outside Yuchuan Peak like how he received Gu Wangzong. Shi Zhenbang followed Wang Daoyuan into the hall. After sitting down, he went straight to the point. Administrator, now that His Highness the 9th Prince has ascended the throne, he is willing to confer you the title of County Prince Qingli. Your position is the same as the Duke of Linhai, hereditary. The entire Qingli County, plus Jinyan City, is your fief. I wonder when Your Highness, when will you mobilize your troops and join His Majesty in exterminating the 3 sects? Wang Daoyuan replied, I'll say this first. If Your Highness the 9th Prince is the leader, and the Zhao family's strength is about the same as the 3 sects, I will naturally help the Zhao family. If the difference in strength is too great, I can only protect my family. Now, the cultivators left behind by the 3 sects were not weak. Even if the Zhao family attacked now, they would not be able to completely defeat the 3 sections. There were still 15 Golden Core stage cultivators left at the Wuching Pass. It was still unknown who was stronger. It's still too early to talk about this. Shi Zhenbang knew that Wang Daoyuan wanted to see which way the wind was blowing, and also knew his attitude towards the Zhao clan. Thus, Shi Zhenbang's mission was completed. Following that, the two of them chatted idly and even discussed some matters regarding cultivation. After chatting for 12 to 12 hours, Shi Zhenbang finally took his leave. Wang Daoyuan still sent him off 100 miles away. The next day, the Netherworld sect could no longer sit still. Gu Wangzong came over again and chatted with Wang Daoyuan for a long time. As long as Wang Daoyuan was willing to send troops to attack the Zhao family, the Netherworld sect could also include the northern part of the Heian County into the Yannan County sphere of influence. Moreover, after destroying the Zhao family, the territory near the Wanchuan market could also be included in the Yannan County. Wang Daoyuan patted his chest and guaranteed that there would be no problem. He immediately began to gather people. After chatting for a few hours, Gu Wangzong was sent away. As soon as Gu Wangzong left, Wang Daoyuan asked the 12th uncle to send people to occupy the northern part of the Heian County. The cultivators of the families in the northern part of the Heian County were all captured by the 6th prince's people as scapegoats. More than half of those people were killed in the attack on the 3 River Market. The rest of them were atoning for their crimes and had not yet returned. Only some rogue cultivators were taking advantage of the situation. After the cultivators of the administrator's mansion drove away the rogue cultivators, they built the guardian's mansion in the Heian Lake Market. Previously, the Li family and other families had sent their disciples to join the administrator's mansion as rogue cultivators. Now, Wang Daoyuan appointed them to guard the Heian Lake Market and stabilize the situation here. It only took the administrator's mansion a day to completely control the entire northern part of the Heian County. The benefits promised by the Netherworld sect had already been taken. As for sending troops, they still had to gather people, didn't they? The people who were sent to rescue the mysterious crystal mine had not been gathered yet. This matter could not be rushed. Wang Daoyuan only took the benefits but did not do anything, which made the Netherworld sect very angry. But now they had to ask him for help, so they had no ability to do anything to Wang Daoyuan. After being tricked by him, the Netherworld sect still welcomed him with a smile. However, they had also learned to be smart. They no longer gave actual benefits, but blindly painted a pie in the sky. This made Wang Daoyuan feel a little regretful that he could not cheat the Netherworld sect anymore. At this moment, Zhou Wan received news from the Wucheng Pass. The Song Kingdom should have known that the three sects had suffered heavy losses and almost all their assets. They no longer wanted to slowly exhaust the three sects' cultivators. Instead, they wanted to defeat the three sects in one battle and then kill their way into the hinterland of the Zhao Kingdom, lest the Zhao family's cultivators unified the Zhao Kingdom. Then, they would have no legitimate reason to annex the Zhao Kingdom's territory. The Song Kingdom directly sent a fourth-grade flying warship to the north of the Wucheng Pass to suppress the three sects' cultivators in an attempt to completely block the logistical route between the Wucheng Pass and the Zhao Kingdom. The three sects' cultivators originally wanted to exhaust the Song Kingdom. When the Song Kingdom could not afford it, they would naturally retreat. The Zhao family would not be able to take down the three sects' mountain gates in a short time. No matter how big the trouble was, the three sects would not be destroyed. The Zhao family's cultivators used the old family's cultivators as scapegoats, which made the three sects' cultivators overjoyed. If the Zhao family wiped out these families, they would not have to worry about the old families seizing power. However, the battle at the Three River Market had made them somewhat afraid. This had already shaken the three sects' foundation. Moreover, the cultivators left behind to guard the Zhao family had taken out all their assets, but they still could not completely eliminate the Zhao family. If this continued, the three sects would really be in danger of being destroyed. The Song Kingdom's cultivators acted like they were cutting off their retreat route, forcing them to fight a decisive battle. At this moment, they had no other choice. Even if they had to give up their territory to seek peace, they had to hurt the Song Kingdom. The battle soon erupted. The Thousand Spirit Sect's cultivators took the lead. They sent out spirit birds to destroy the flying warships. They used the advantage of the spirit birds' speed to restrain the flying warships. Since they were going to fight a battle between Golden Core cultivators, they had to hide their strength as much as possible. Whoever revealed their trump cards first would be in a more passive position. The spirit birds' method of dealing with the flying warships was excellent. The flying warships of the Song Kingdom could not completely cut off the three sects' supply line. After a few days, Song Yen could no longer hold back and directly sent out Golden Core cultivators to deal with the spirit birds. Unfortunately, not all late-stage Golden Core cultivators were like the Zhao family, who could fight both humans and demonic beasts without being at a disadvantage. The Song Kingdom sent out one or two Golden Core cultivators, but they were defeated by the spirit birds sent out by the Thousand Spirit Sect. Apart from the Imperial family, the Golden Core cultivators of the other factions in the Song Kingdom were inferior to the three sects in terms of inheritance. Since everyone had the same cultivation, the level of inheritance had a great impact on their strength. The cultivators of the Song Kingdom were not as strong as the cultivators of the three sections. Song Yen no longer played with the strategy of adding fuel to the fire. He sent out 5 late-stage Golden Core cultivators to cut off the supply line. The cultivators of the three sects also knew that they could not drag this out any longer, so they decided to have a showdown with the Song Kingdom. 2 Golden Core cultivators were left to guard the Wucheng Pass. The other 13 attacked together and got rid of the 5 Golden Core cultivators of the Song Kingdom. The Golden Core cultivators of the Song State were prepared. Originally, Song Yen had brought 15 Golden Core cultivators. Originally, Song Yen had brought out 15 Golden Core cultivators, but now, he had brought out his own backup. However, the cultivators of the three sects had refined corpses and spirit beasts. 13 cultivators, 7 spirit beasts, and 5 refined corpses. They were not at a disadvantage at all. The two sides fought for an entire day. The Song Kingdom lost 5 Golden Core cultivators, while the Zhao Kingdom lost 3 Golden Core cultivators, 1 spirit beast, and 1 refined corpse. The two sides were evenly matched. Song Yen was using this opportunity to exhaust the Golden Core cultivators of the other 5 factions of the Song Kingdom. He did not care about a few Golden Core cultivators dying. However, the three sects did not dare to drag this out and could only ask for peace. The two sides fought and stopped for more than a month before finally reaching an agreement. The three sects ceded the Wuxia Pass and the two sides stopped fighting. Chapter 6:11. When Wuxia Pass fell into the hands of Song, Song would have a stable north gate. Song Yan wouldn't have to worry about the cultivators of Zhao attacking his palace when he woke up. On the contrary, it would be easy for Song Yan to invade Zhao in the future. As long as he went north from Wuxia Pass, the distance between the mountains on the east and the west would become wider and wider. There would be no more dangerous passes in the entire Wuxia County. After the two sides reached an agreement, the ghost sect gradually withdrew their cultivators. Wang Daoyuan was a little depressed when he heard the news about Wuxia Pass. The three sects lost 3 people, 1 corpse, and 1 spirit beast. The Wanling sect and the ghost sect lost cultivators in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. The Wanling sect and the ghost sect both lost cultivators in the late stage of the Golden Core realm. In total, they had about 2 Lord Linhai's combat capability. Now the 3 sects had at least 15 or 16 Lord Linhai's combat capability. The Wang family was embarrassed. The 3 sects' losses were not big or small, and the gap between them and the Zhao family was narrowed. But even if the Wang family joined the Zhao family, it couldn't completely make up for the gap. No one knew whether there were still people hiding on both sides. A few days later, the Golden Core realm cultivators of the 3 sects returned to their sections. Zhou Wan's intelligence agency also found out that there was one more member of the Zhao family in the Wanchuan market. This person had stayed in Song for 500 years. Wang Daoyuan knew who this person was. When he was still a foundation-building cultivator, he participated in the Battle of Wuxia Pass. At that time, there was a member of the Zhao family in Song. That person's strength was not bad. He could fight with a late Golden Core realm cultivator in the Wanyang sect. The Zhao family could have one more Lord Linhai's combat capability. 3 days later, Zhou Wan's spy in the Guiyuan sword sect found another Golden Core realm cultivator. Judging from his dressing, he was from the Zhao family. Zhao Lingyan was quite respectful to him. Wang Daoyuan had long suspected that the 9th prince and the 6th prince had a backup plan in Shanbei. Zhao Lingyan and the other 2 Golden Core realm cultivators should be the 6th prince's hidden masters. This person should be the 9th prince's hidden master. The Zhao family had 2 more Lord Linhai's combat capability. The gap between the 2 sects was very small. After all, the 3 sects were 3 different families. They were not subordinate to each other. Even if a great disaster was about to befall them, it was difficult for them to work together and display their full strength. Although the Zhao clan's side was divided into the Zhao clan's main branch and Linhai state's cultivators, at least they had a common emperor and a unified command, so there wouldn't be internal friction. Even if the 3 sects still had some money left, there wouldn't be much left. A few big cats and small cats wouldn't affect the overall situation. With the 9th prince's ability, 500 years ago, he had been able to fight the 3 sects for decades with people who were far weaker than them. Now that their strengths were similar, their chances of victory were very high. Now, the Wang family was the chip that would decide the state of Zhao. Whichever side they chose to side with would win. Soon after, the 9th prince sent another cultivator to visit the Jade Spring Peak. This time, the person who came was not Shi Zhenbang, but the Heian County Duke, Shi Zhizhong. This guy was a veteran Golden Core cultivator. His father was of the same generation as the Wang family's patriarch. Of course, in terms of seniority, it was hard to say who was higher and who was lower. The Shi family was a distant branch of the Zhou family, and Wang Daoyuan was the son-in-law of the Zhou family. In terms of seniority, Wang Daoyuan's seniority might be higher. Of course, this seniority had to be traced back to 10,000 years ago. If they were to really talk about it, there would be no end. However, he still personally welcomed Bailey and led him to the Jade Spring Peak. The 12th uncle had also returned from Qingli City and accompanied him along with his 5th uncle. Wang Daoyuan wanted to invite him to sit, but Shi Zhizhong waved his hand and said, "Little friend, there is no need for this. I am here on His Majesty's orders to invite the Wang family to deal with the rebels." The four of them sat facing each other. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Does His Highness the Ninth Prince have any rules?" Shi Zhizhong smiled and said, "His Majesty's meaning is that the Wang family's current territory will be preserved, including the northern part of Heian County. After the rebels are dealt with, the northern part of Qingli County will also belong to the Wang family. The Wang family is like the Duke of Linhai, listening to orders but not orders. In addition, His Majesty has also promised that the Zhao family has no right to interfere in all matters within Qingli County. Duke Qingli can be conferred the title of Marquis and below within the county. His Majesty will approve of it. If the previous Duke Qingli does not commit the crime of rebellion, the Zhao family will not punish him. If he commits the crime of rebellion, he will not be killed. Only Duke Qingli himself will be deposed and Qingli County will be preserved. The Wang family will choose another clansman to inherit the throne. All treatment will not change." Finishing, he smiled and looked at the three people of the Wang family. These conditions were generous enough. In the future, the Wang family would basically be a small country. Even with fifth uncle and 12th uncle's calmness, their faces revealed excitement. However, Wang Daoyuan's expression was normal. He smiled and said, "The Wang family naturally does not dare to snatch Senior's fief. Senior, please report back to the Ninth Prince. The Wang family can give up the northern part of Heian County and even Jianghu City, but I want the 100 Rivers Lake. In these 200 years, the Wang family's goal has always been the sky-beheading mountain range. If the Zhao family retains the territory in Luliu province, the Wang family will not be able to expand in the future." Shi Zhizhong's heart was half happy and half worried. He was happy that Wang Daoyuan had offered a condition, and the price was not too outrageous. This meant that he had agreed. Moreover, Heian County was the Shi family's fief. Although they did not have much autonomy, it was still fief. The Wang family was willing to give up the northern part of Heian County and Jianghu City, which was a great bargain for the Shi family. Jianghu City did not matter as there was not much meat around it. However, the Shannon grassland in the northern part of Heian County was the place that produced the most demonic beast meat in Zhao. It was not a small industry. However, Wang Daoyuan wanted the 100 Rivers Lake in Luliu province, which made it difficult for Shi Zhizhong. The 100 Rivers Lake and the surrounding area could support more than 200,000 wandering cultivators. There was also a secret realm under Luliu province. Its value was much higher than the northern part of Heian County. Naturally, Shi Zhizhong did not dare to make the decision. Shi Zhizhong cupped his hands and said, "I have no authority to deal with this matter. I need to report it to His Majesty." In addition, His Majesty said that if the Wang family is willing to set things right, His Majesty will personally come to Yuchuan Peak to pay respects to Marquis Yuchuan and the Wang family members who died in battle. Previously, they were talking about the inside. This time, they were talking about face. The Ninth Prince personally paid respects to the Wang family members who died in battle, which could be considered as rectifying the Wang family's reputation. This would prevent people from using the underworld sect as an excuse. This was also the Zhao family's way of showing that they valued the Wang family. The other side had already taken out their face, so the Zhao family had to do something. Wang Daoyuan smiled. "If so, I can also give Your Majesty a gift, which is to stab the underworld sect in the back. This stab will definitely break the hearts of the underworld sect." The move he was talking about was the Gui Water Nether Spring. As long as the Yin Qi in the Darkwater River was cut off, they could spread the news. The underworld sect was not a monolithic block. Previously, Zhong Zhenyang had the intention of befriending the Wang family and leaving a way out for the Zhong family. The Yin Qi in the Darkwater River was the foundation of the underworld sect. If the Yin Qi in the Darkwater River was cut off, the underworld sect would have no future. There would be no point in guarding the underworld sect. There would definitely be golden core cultivators who would consider their own interests and contact the Zhao family. At this time, the Zhao family would offer slightly better conditions, and they might be able to attract a few golden core cultivators of the underworld sect. Shi Zhizhong was also interested. If they could really break the hearts of the underworld sect, then the strength of the three sects would be weakened by at least 10 to 20%. The Zhao family would have a clear advantage in strength. He asked curiously, "How do you do this?" "Little friend, tell me, so I can report it to His Majesty." There was no need to hide this matter. Except for himself, no one knew how to deal with the Yin Qi. There was no harm in telling him. He smiled and said, "Cutting off the Yin Qi in the Darkwater River, Senior, do you think this move can break the hearts of the underworld sect? If after the Yin Qi is cut off, the Zhao family can let the underworld sect cultivators redeem themselves, and the effect should be better." Hearing this, Shi Zhizhong's face was full of shock. If this could really be done, it was possible to take away half of the golden core cultivators of the underworld sect. He quickly said, "Little friend, wait here for a moment. I will immediately return to the Wanshuan market and report this matter and the Wang family's request to His Majesty." After that, he did not care about hiding and directly rode a cloud to the south. Chapter 612. After half a day, Shi Zhizhong once again came to Yuchuan Peak. Wang Daoyuan was just about to welcome him into the hall. He waved his hand, "No need to be so polite. His Majesty has already agreed to the Wang family's request. The north of Heian Prefecture will be temporarily managed by the Wang family. Jinyan City will be included in Duke Qingli's territory. Baichuan Lake and the nearby areas will also be included in Qingli Prefecture. However, the country hasn't been recovered yet. His Majesty still needs Lulu Province to provide resources. When the capital is recovered, Lulu Province will be given to the Wang family. 3 days later, His Majesty will bring the Crown Prince and Minister Zong to Yuchuan Peak to pay respects to Marquis Yuchuan. At that time, he will also bring along the royal decree and robes for little friend to be Duke Qingli. However, now is a special time. Everything will be simple. Little friend, please don't be offended." Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "It's all right. Right now, we should prioritize the restoration of our country." After exchanging some pleasantries, Shi Zhizhong left Yuchuan Peak with the excuse that he had important matters to attend to. After the Three River Market Square was defeated, the Zhao family lost more than half of their cultivators. Most of the families that were forced to surrender went back into the arms of the three sections. The Zhao family's resources mainly came from Linhai Prefecture. Lulu Province was also an important logistics base. Naturally, they couldn't hand it over to the Wang family now. The north of Heian Prefecture was given to the Wang family as a mortgage. After the Wang family gets Lulu Province, they will return the north of Heian Prefecture. As for the rights of giving land, they didn't care. As long as the royal decree was in their hands, they would have a reason to take over these territories. Wang Daoyuan wasn't afraid that they wouldn't acknowledge it. With the remaining power of the Zhao family, even after recovering the Zhao country, they could barely maintain it. Song had already taken down Wucheng Pass. However, after years of war, they lost a lot of manpower. Qi, Chu, and Wu were also eyeing them from behind. They didn't want to fight to the death with the three sects and let the Zhao family take advantage of them. With Song Yan's personality, once he recovers, he will still attack Zhao. The normal people and low-level cultivators of the Zhao family were all wiped out 500 years ago. Right now, the place with the most Zhao family members was Linhai State. The Zhao family did not have enough ordinary clansmen and low-level cultivators to support them. After the current golden core cultivators passed away, they could not be quickly replenished. For a long time to come, the number of golden core cultivators would slowly decrease. Only with enough ordinary clansmen could there be more cultivator clansmen. Only when there were enough cultivators could there be more clansmen with extraordinary talent and the potential to form their gold core. It would take at least 1,000 years to restore the number of ordinary clansmen and low-level cultivators to what it was before the rebellion of the three sections. By the same logic, it would take thousands of years for the number of Oris core cultivators to return to its previous level. Before this, the Zhao family could only rely on the various nobles to help protect the Zhao country. Once the Zhao family went back on their word, the nobles with different surnames might become disloyal, and there might even be internal strife. The Zhao family couldn't afford to pay such a price. After Wang Daoyuan obtained the medical legacy from the Zhou nation, the Wang family had developed rapidly over the years. The number of ordinary clansmen had already exceeded 500,000. There were already more than 1,200 cultivators. In the future, as their territory expanded, the growth rate of their clansmen would also become faster and faster. 1,000 years later, it wasn't certain who would be afraid of whom. Wang Daoyuan ordered the clansmen to start preparing for the worship in 3 days. 3 days later, a flying warship and 2 flying boats took off from Wanshuan Market and headed towards Yuchuan Peak. When they were 100 miles south of Yuchuan Peak, the 9th prince, dressed in royal robes, stepped off the flying warship and personally rode a cloud towards Yuchuan Peak. This was the etiquette of a golden core cultivator visiting a mountain. It was enough to give the Wang family face. He was accompanied by Zhao Jinghua and an early-stage golden core cultivator. This person's appearance was quite similar to the 9th prince. He was a mid-stage golden core cultivator. He didn't look old and didn't have any obvious signs of decay. He also wore royal robes and a crown on his head. This was the attire of the crown prince. He should be the 9th prince's eldest son, Zhao Qingxian. Wang Daoyuan, 5th granduncle, and 12th uncle also came out of the mountain to welcome them. They bowed to the 3 of them and said, "Your Majesty, Your Highness the Crown Prince." As golden core cultivators, Wang Daoyuan and 12th uncle didn't need to kneel. 5th granduncle was a late-stage Violet Palace realm cultivator, so he still needed to kneel. However, the 9th prince waved his hand and said, "There's no need to be so polite." Wang Daoyuan and the other 2 led the way at the front. The warship was parked 100 miles away. 2 flying boats with offerings on them followed at the back. When they arrived at Yuchuan Peak, a dozen or so Violet Palace realm cultivators of the Zhao clan alighted from the flying boat and carried all kinds of offerings. At the very front was a pig, a cow, and a sheep. They were all 3rd-grade low-grade demon beasts. The 9th prince and the other 2 entered the Wang family's ancestral shrine. The Zhao clan members behind them placed the offerings on the table. Zhao Jinghua read the memorial speech and praised the contributions of the Wang clan's ancestor and the Wang clan members who died in battle. After the ceremony, Zhao Jinghua read the edict conferring Wang Daoyuan the title of Duke Qingli in front of the Wang clan's ancestral shrine. The Zhao clan had lost almost all of its members. The only cultivator familiar with the etiquette was Zhao Jinghua. Thus, these matters were all left to him. After the edict was read, a few Violet Palace realm cultivators of the Zhao clan walked out from the 2 flying boats. They held the imperial edict in their hands, a yellow book that recorded the population and land. Of course, this yellow book was empty. The Zhao clan had been lost for more than 500 years. They knew nothing of the situation in the Qingli prefecture. There was also a white robe and a 9-headed crown. The crown was mainly black with golden decorations. The 9-headed crown had 9 strings of jade beads at the front and back, each string having 9 jade beads. The emperor's 12 strings each had 12 jade beads. Behind it was the white jade royal seal and a high-grade 3rd-grade longsword. Its name was Duke Qingli's sword. These 2 items represented authority. The last item was the red ink iron certificate. It was shaped like a tile. It was 1 foot tall, 2 feet long, and 1 inch thick. It was forged from 4th-grade low-grade black jade iron, and the words on it were embedded with 4th-grade low-grade silver light iron. In addition to the content of the words, there was also a record of the 9th prince's promise. It was a certificate. Several members of the Zhao clan put the robe on Wang Daoyuan. Zhao Jinghua personally put on the crown for him and hung the Duke Qingli's sword. Finally, the Zhao emperor personally bestowed the royal seal and the red ink iron certificate. The ceremony was over. Except for the 9th prince and Zhao Qingxian, everyone else bowed to Wang Daoyuan. Then, 2 more groups of people walked down from the 2 flying boats. They were holding all kinds of ceremonial items, all of which were level 3 artifacts. This set of items was the honor of the county king. In the Green Willow province, it was impossible to have the duke's honor. It was most likely taken from the Duke of Linhai. After the ceremony was over, Wang Daoyuan led the Zhao clan to the auditorium. Everyone sat down in the manner of a ruler and a subject. The Zhao emperor asked, I heard the River Sun Duke say that the Duke can cut off the Yin Qi of the Netherworld sect. How? Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, reporting to your majesty, from the travels of an ancient Jindan cultivator, this subject learned about the source of the Yin Qi of Mingshui River. When this subject was still a foundation establishment cultivator, I went to search for treasures and left some things there. At that time, the Yin Qi of the Netherworld sect disappeared for a few years. The higher-ups of the Netherworld sect pretended that there was a high-grade spirit medicine that needed pure Yin Qi to nourish. They asked the affiliated families to help find a place with pure Yin Qi. The Zhao emperor nodded, I heard about this matter. At that time, I guessed that there might be a problem with the Mingshui River. I didn't expect it to be the Duke's doing. Wang Daoyuan continued, this subject can lead the source of the Yin Qi elsewhere. At that time, the Mingshui River will never have Yin Qi. The Zhao emperor asked with satisfaction, when can the Yin Qi of the Mingshui River be cut off? Wang Daoyuan replied, Your Majesty only needs to give me 3 days. However, I can now release the news that the Yin Qi of the Mingshui River is about to disappear. In this way, the deterrent effect on the Jindan cultivators of the Netherworld sect will be stronger. The Zhao emperor stroked his long beard, the Duke is really thoughtful. With such a wonderful plan, it won't take long for the people of the Netherworld sect to panic. By the way, I have several granddaughters of the Zifu realm. They are just over 100 years old. I don't know if the Duke has the intention to marry. Chapter 613. Wang Daoyuan muttered in his heart, this Emperor Zhao is not honest. He just gave me the title of Duke, and now he wants to kill me with a borrowed knife. With Zhou Wan's jealousy, not to mention marrying a wife, even marrying a concubine would result in his death. However, not marrying the Zhao clan is not realistic. The Wang clan has so much autonomy. If they don't marry the Zhao clan, they won't be at ease. The good thing about having many people in the clan is that they have many shields. It's not like no one in the Wang clan is worthy of Emperor Zhao's Zifu granddaughter. For example, little uncle Wang Shouzhe and grandnephew Wang Mingshan are both in the Zifu realm. In terms of formations and alchemy, they are both in the Zifu realm. Marrying the Zhao clan's granddaughter is a bit lacking, but marrying a concubine's child is not a problem. Moreover, the best candidate for the next clan head is Wang Mingshan. His marriage with the Zhao clan is also more suitable. As for Duke Qingli's heir, it's naturally his son. Duke Qingli's estate can't completely overlap with the clan. There has to be a distinction between inside and outside. In the future, his line will be in charge of the Duke's estate. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, Your Majesty, I have no intention of marrying at the moment. However, Wang clan's grand elder Wang Mingshan is the great-grandson of my brother in the secular world. He is now 160 years old. When he opened his Zifu, the jade-scaled flood dragon phenomenon appeared. He is also a third-stage alchemist. For both public and private reasons, I will do my best to nurture him into core formation. I wonder if your Majesty is interested in him? Emperor Zhao stroked his long beard and said with a smile, the jade-scaled flood dragon phenomenon is also a good seedling for core formation. He is also a close blood relative of the Duke and a third-stage alchemist. He is enough for my granddaughter. When the war is over, the marriage will be bestowed. What does the Duke think about the future war? Should we attack the Three River Market or attack the important industries first to exhaust the three sects' strength? This is to test Wang Daoyuan's knowledge and see how capable he is. Wang Daoyuan replied, in my opinion, the Three River Market cannot be rashly attacked. The Three River Market is at the intersection of the three sects' territories and is not far from the old capital of Zhao. His Majesty's prestige in the old family is extremely high. If we capture this place, we will be able to recover the old capital. The old families under the three sects will have thoughts of returning to our side. It was so obvious that the three sects could naturally see it. The moment we touch the three-river market, the three sects will definitely fight us with all their might. Now, both sides were equally matched. Once the final battle began, even if they won, they would suffer heavy casualties. They would no longer be able to take down the three sects, and they would not be able to complete the great task of reviving their country. If Song and Wei were to attack again, the state of Zhao would be in danger. Right now, in terms of the top fighters on both sides, we have His Majesty, Minister Zong, and the Sixth Prince. On the side of the three sects, Daoist Jinyang of the Cruel Sun Palace was heavily injured, and the Cruel Sun sword was also severely damaged. Only Zhong Zhenyang of the Underworld sect and Immortal Yulong of the Thousand Spirits sect were the two top combatants. If it had been at the Three-River Market, the Underworld Water Black Turtle of the Thousand Spirits sect would have been much more powerful and would have been able to withstand His Majesty's seal of mountains and rivers. Even Zong Zhengqing would find it difficult to take it down in the Three-River Market. The three sects only have three top combatants. Our advantage would be gone, and we would not necessarily be able to win. Hearing this, the Zhao Emperor was somewhat doubtful. Daoist Jin Yang and Immortal Yulong are very powerful. This I know. Even Imperial Uncle could not easily defeat them. But Zhong Zhenyang has always been unknown. Where is his strength? Wang Daoyuan replied, at that time, Zhong Zhenyang came to the Jade Spring Peak and wanted me to go to Wucheng Pass, but I refused. At that time, he had the intention of leaving a way out for the Zhong family, and he also revealed that he had a minor divine ability. Minor divine abilities are also divided into strong and weak ones. Even I dare not confirm Zhong Zhenyang's true strength. Zhao Jinghua opened his mouth. I have not comprehended a minor divine ability. If Zhong Zhenyang's minor divine ability is more powerful, I really would not be able to defeat him. This time, it was Wang Daoyuan's turn to be surprised. He had not comprehended a minor divine ability, yet he had this kind of strength. If he comprehended a minor divine ability, in a battle of the same level, perhaps his strength would be above master. The Zhao Emperor asked, since this Zhong Zhenyang has the intention of leaving a way out, can we rope him in? Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, this is what this subject wants to report to His Majesty. In this subject's opinion, this time, to pacify the three sects, we cannot rely on brute force. We must also divide the three sections. This subject will cut off the Yin Qi of the Netherworld River, making the hearts of the people of the Netherworld sect unstable. His Majesty will then allow the cultivators of the three sects to redeem themselves, which can indeed move the Zhong family. But to make Zhong Zhenyang directly join us, it is still a bit lacking. We can attack the 9 Underworld Mysterious Crystal Mine again, and with the help of this fire. The Yin Qi of the Netherworld sect only comes from the Netherworld River and the mysterious Netherworld Crystal Mine. After cutting off the Netherworld River, the Netherworld sect will never give up this place. The Netherworld sect alone will definitely not be able to defend it. They must ask for help from the other two sections. After all, the three sects are not monolithic. The Myriad Spirit sect and the Cruel Sun Palace will inevitably rely on the Netherworld sect to exhaust our thoughts. We will then send out low-level cultivators to harass the industries of the other two sects, so that they will not dare to pull most of the Golden Core cultivators to the mysterious Netherworld Crystal Mine. In this way, we can maintain our advantage over the mysterious Netherworld Crystal Mine and slowly exhaust the Golden Core cultivators of the three sections. When our Golden Core cultivators have a greater advantage, we will directly take the mysterious Netherworld Crystal Mine and force the Netherworld sect to surrender. When the Netherworld sect surrenders, our strength will be far superior to the other two sections. When the time comes, we can recruit them and at least poach a few Golden Core cultivators. In this way, after quelling the rebellion, the strength of our Zhao state will be able to maintain an advantage over the Song and Wei states. It will be enough to make the other two countries not dare to rashly invade the state of Zhao and buy time for the state of Zhao to recover its strength. After a few hundred years of stable development, the state of Zhao will be able to restore the strength of a first-rate country. Hearing this, the Zhao emperor's face was difficult to conceal the excitement on his face. If so, then the recovery of the state of Zhao and the revival of the glory of our ancestors is just around the corner. As for the matter of recruiting the Netherworld sect, I will have to trouble the Duke. You can make any promises to the cultivators of the 3 sections. As long as they can abandon the darkness and join the light, I will let bygones be bygones and give them spiritual mountains to establish their families. If they can turn the tables and strike back, they will be bestowed with titles and lands, and can even be given a dukedom. The Zhao Emperor's magnanimity was not something the 6th prince could compare to. He could even promise a dukedom to the Golden Core cultivators of the 3 sects who had a grudge against the extermination of their clans. As for the 6th prince, he could only promise a marquis to the Wang family. Wang Daoyuan bowed and saluted. This subject obeys the duke's orders. The Zhao emperor nodded. The matter of cutting off the Yin Qi of the Netherworld River will be handed over to the duke. I will return to the Wanshuan market first and start spreading rumors to harass the businesses of the 3 sections. Wang Daoyuan and the other 2 escorted the Zhao emperor and the Zhao family to the south of the Jade Spring Peak before returning to the Jade Spring Peak. On the flying warship, the Zhao emperor asked the crown prince, Qingxian, what do you think of Duke Qingli's plan? Why didn't we think of it? Zhao Qingxian pondered for a moment before answering. This plan seems simple, but it is indeed very effective. The most important part of this plan is to be able to cut off the Yin Qi of the Netherworld River. If we can't do this, the Netherworld sect can completely ignore our attack on the 9 Underworld mysterious crystal mine. No matter how many plans we have, it will be difficult to implement. We don't know how to cut off the Yin Qi of the Netherworld River, and we don't know the internal situation of the Netherworld sect. It is normal that we can't think of this plan. If Duke Qingli's plan succeeds, our Zhao family will lose less than half of our Golden Core cultivators. Otherwise, even if our Zhao family succeeds in reviving the country, it will be difficult to defend our foundation. With the price of a county in Qingli County, the Zhao family can revive the country. Moreover, Qingli County can help us block the beast tide of the sky-chopping mountain range. We won't lose out. The Zhao Emperor's face revealed a gratified expression. I am very gratified that you can see this point. At least after reviving the country, you can defend the foundation of your ancestors. We all know the situation of the administrator's residence. Wang Daoyuan is not a person who is greedy for power. His thoughts should be on cultivation. His connections are very wide, so we must not suppress him. On the contrary, we can use his relationship with the Divine Weapon Pavilion to buy more high-level magic tools and strengthen the Zhao family. When he is gone, our Zhao family will be able to catch a breather. At that time, with our Zhao family's inheritance, the Wang family will naturally not dare to act rashly. Chapter 614. After sending off the Zhao family, Wang Daoyuan gave the 12th uncle the task of changing the Wang family. Actually, it wasn't a big deal. Changing the name of the original administrator's residence to the Duke's residence was enough. He just told the families in his jurisdiction that in the future, Yannan County would be changed back to Qingli County. Wang Daoyuan would be conferred the title of Duke by the Zhao family and would have the power to confer the title of Marquis in Qingli County. This was also to tell the families that those who were obedient had the possibility of being conferred the title of Marquis in the future. Those who were disobedient would die immediately. Ever since that year, the families didn't dare to go against the administrator's residence. These families weren't the filial sons and grandsons of the Netherworld sect. The old families were already dissatisfied with the Netherworld sect. The foreign families treated their milk as their mother and wouldn't have any loyalty to the Netherworld sect. Once the Duke's residence's order was sent out, the families immediately stated that they would obey the Duke's residence's orders and draw a clear line with the Netherworld sect. Also, they sent people to take over the territory in the southern part of Qingli County. That place had been swept by the 6th prince and now many of the spiritual mountains were empty. It was a waste to leave it empty like this. It was better to send people to take it. The more valuable spiritual mountains would be left for their families and the less valuable ones would be left for their subordinates. After dealing with these matters, Wang Daoyuan returned to the underground cave. Zhou Wan saw his royal robe and smiled. People rely on clothes, horses rely on saddles, dogs run happily with bells. Wearing this outfit, you really do look like a dog. I say, Hall Master, you praise people with a stick. Zhou Wan mocked and ridiculed. Does the county king find my words unpleasant? Then why didn't you marry the Zhao family's granddaughter? That's a princess, a county princess. She's perfect as a Wang Fei. Wang Daoyuan smiled. You're still so jealous. What princess, county princess can't compare to Hall Master? You're the Wang Fei of Qingli County. Then what about my phoenix coronet and robe? The outside world doesn't know of your existence? The Zhao family is already in this situation. It's already not bad that they can gather my coronet. After the country was restored, the phoenix coronet and robes would naturally be sent over. Besides, when the princess consort came out into the open, there was no need for the state of Zhao to give her a phoenix coronet. That eldest nephew of mine will definitely send you the phoenix coronet and robe. Most likely, the Zhou emperor will also give you the title of princess or infanta. Let's not talk about these things for now. Once the war starts, we don't know when we'll be free. Let's make the best use of our time to cultivate. He carried Zhou Wan into the house, and she did not resist. Only then did Wang Daoyuan let out a sigh of relief. The issue of the marriage alliance with the Zhao family had finally passed. As for the matter of the Gui Water Nether Spring, it would be handled by Cui Ming, who was overseeing the northern branch of the Blood Shadow Mountain. Anyway, it wasn't a big deal. He just had to open a big hole in the water storage space and draw the water out. In order to remove the Yin Qi from the Darkwater River, he only needed to draw out a portion of the spring water from the Gui Water Nether Spring. The remaining spring water did not have enough pressure, so it would be fine if it did not gush up. A day later, Zhou Wan received the news that the Yin Qi from the Netherworld Sect's Darkwater River had disappeared, which spread throughout half of the Zhao country. Soon, Cui Ming's clone also returned to the range of Wang Daoyuan's panoramic perception. Wang Daoyuan checked his memories. The matter had been completed. Cui Ming had cut a hole with a diameter of more than 3 feet above the water storage space. Wang Daoyuan also sent a message to the Zhao Emperor, saying that the matter of the source of the Yin Qi from the Darkwater River had been resolved. After half a month, Zhou Wan's intelligence showed that the Netherworld Sect's disciples below the Golden Core stage had begun to panic. Even some Purple Mansion elders from old families had begun to express goodwill to Wang Daoyuan through various channels. A month later, Luo Jiuyo sent a message to Wang Daoyuan, making a promise. As long as Wang Daoyuan could restore the Yin Qi from the Darkwater River, after the 3 sects destroyed the Zhao family, Qingli County and Heian County would be handed over to the Wang family. Moreover, the position of sect master of the Netherworld sect would be given to him. Wang Daoyuan didn't believe the nonsense of the Netherworld sect. These bastards even wanted to suppress the cultivators of their own family, let alone an outsider like him. Let's not talk about others, just take Zhou Qi for example. 200 years ago, he was already a Purple Mansion realm cultivator and served as the guardian of Qingli Market. At that time, he was at most 100 years old. Back then, when he participated in the duel between the 2 sects at Pine Elm Mountain, he beat up the Middle Purple Mansion realm cultivator of the Setting Sun Palace. Although his talent wasn't top-notch, he was definitely a first-rate genius. If such a talent was placed in another power, he would be a golden core seedling that was heavily nurtured. Now that he was 300 years old, he should have formed his core long ago. But now, nearly 200 years had passed, and he had just reached the late Purple Mansion realm. The promises of the Netherworld Sect's Golden Core cultivators couldn't be trusted. Wang Daoyuan directly sent a message back, rejecting Luo Jiuyo. In any case, his own clansmen who had joined the Netherworld Sect had been transferred to Qingli Market by Wang Daoyuan as the Grand Elder of the Netherworld Sect when the administrator's office was established. Luo Jiuyo wanted to disgust him, but he couldn't find a way. A few days later, Zhong Yaoting, Zhong Zhenyang's grandnephew, sent a message to Wang Daoyuan. He didn't say anything, but just wanted to get close to him. He thanked Wang Daoyuan for giving him the corpse core, which helped him to form his core successfully. This was a show of goodwill, which meant that some of the high-level golden core cultivators of the Netherworld sect were also uneasy. 3 days later, Gu Wangzong also sent a message to talk about their previous friendship. Wang Daoyuan had a lot of dealings with him, since he helped the Netherworld sect refine the flying boat when he was in the Foundation establishment stage. After forming his core, Gu Wangzong would come to the administrator's office to discuss anything that happened to the Netherworld sect. Of the 4 lineal families of the Netherworld sect, the Luo family held the power of the Netherworld sect, so they were naturally unwilling to surrender. The only remaining golden core cultivator of the Ming family died in the battle at Wuching Pass, so there was no one from the Ming family in the high-level management. However, Ming Huai, who had dealt with Wang Daoyuan, still sent a message. Of the 4 lineal families of the Netherworld sect, 3 of them had the idea of leaving a way out. The entire Netherworld sect had already lost its people. After all, the Yin Qi was gone, and the Netherworld sect had no future. It was meaningless to continue to hold on. Even if they could survive this disaster, they would still fall apart in the future. Emperor Zhao's promise had also been announced to the whole country. Except for the Luo family, no one was willing to continue to fight. Wang Daoyuan immediately sent a message to Emperor Zhao, informing him of this matter. Now it was time to attack the mysterious crystal mine and force the Netherworld sect to surrender. Emperor Zhao was also very decisive. He immediately mobilized his forces and gathered them in Golden Goose City. Golden Goose City was only 10,000 miles away from the mysterious crystal mine, and it was a fortress, so it was heavily guarded. It was extremely suitable to use it as a logistics base. On the side of Shanbei Guiyuan sword sect, Zhao Lingyan also rushed to Golden Goose City with 4 third-order flying warships and a dozen flying boats. Now the 3 forces of Golden Goose City were gathered together, and they were not subordinate to each other, so it was inevitable that there would be conflicts. Wang Daoyuan, as the master of Golden Goose City, naturally had to go and take charge. He brought 5 third-order flying warships. Half of the warships were controlled by the cultivators of the Battle Division, and the other half by the Devil-Slaying Division. Among the cultivators of the Battle Division, there were also some members of the Wang family, and the rest were members of various families. The cultivators of the Devil-Slaying Division were basically rogue cultivators. The members of the Wang family, the families of Qingli County, and the rogue cultivators were the main factions under the command of the Duke Mansion. With such an arrangement, all the factions under the command of the Duke Mansion had people participating in the battle. After arriving at Golden Goose City, Wang Daoyuan, as the Duke Mansion, was second only to Emperor Zhao and the Crown Prince in the Zhao family. Naturally, he was in command of Golden Goose City, and Zhao Lingyan had no objection. Wanchuan Market sent a lot of people, led by Zhao Jinghua, Zhao Lingjiang, Gu Qingfeng, and 2 late Jindan stage cultivators of Linhai State. The arrival of these people was within Wang Daoyuan's expectation. After all, the strength of Zhong Zhenyang of the Netherworld sect was extremely high. If there were no top masters, they would not be able to resist. If Zhong Zhenyang seized the opportunity to kill a few Jindan stage cultivators of the Zhao family, things would be troublesome. To Wang Daoyuan's surprise, the 6th prince also came to Golden Goose City. After asking around, he found out that this guy volunteered to come. After the 9th prince succeeded the throne, he did not treat him unfairly and conferred him the title of Marquis Zhennan. It seemed that he really wanted to make some contributions and become a duke in the future. Chapter 6:15. After everyone arrived, the Golden Core cultivators came to the Golden Goose City Guard Mansion to discuss the specific arrangements for attacking the mysterious crystal vein. As soon as Gu Qingfeng entered the meeting hall with 2 Linhai State Golden Core cultivators, he said with a smile, "At first, I wanted to force the County King to join the Zhao family, but I couldn't. The County King's strength is also far beyond ordinary people. Although this old man's strength is not first class among the Golden Core late-stage cultivators, it is above average. I didn't expect that I couldn't take down the County King, a Golden Core middle-stage cultivator. I'm afraid it won't be long before the county king's strength surpasses this old man. The younger generation is really formidable. At this time, Zhao Jinghua came in with 4 people from the Zhao family. They cupped their hands to Wang Daoyuan. The 6th prince's title was only a marquis, so naturally, it couldn't be compared to Wang Daoyuan's county king. Zhao Jinghua's title was dukan, but as Zong Jingqing, he had the power to govern the Zhao family. The Zhao family's marquis had to salute him. However, Wang Daoyuan's surname wasn't Zhao, so Zong Jingqing couldn't control him. Zhao Jinghua could only salute him. Of course, Wang Daoyuan didn't put on airs and also saluted back respectfully. After everyone sat down, Zhao Jinghua said with a smile, as the saying goes, a snake can't do without a head. This attack on the mysterious crystal vein is the county king's plan. His Majesty wants the county king to have full command, and we just need to cooperate. What do you think, Daoyu? Since Emperor Zhao spoke, the others naturally didn't dare to say anything. Wang Daoyuan didn't dare to directly answer. Most of the cultivators present were from the same era as his ancestor, and his cultivation was still the lowest. Even if they didn't say it, they were still unhappy. When fighting, the most afraid of conflicts between family members. Not to mention others, the 6th prince was staring at him with a face full of hatred. Wang Daoyuan hurriedly declined, I'm a junior, and I've just turned over to the light. I'm afraid it's difficult to convince the public. Let's ask Zong Jingqing to command. Minister Zong said solemnly, the county king has presented a plan to pacify the bandits for his majesty and cut off the source of the Yin Qi in Mingshui River. In terms of merit, he is greater than us. Even the plan to attack the mysterious crystal vein of the 9th underworld was proposed by the 2nd-rank prince. Who would dare to disagree? No one dared to object. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, thank you for your trust, Your Majesty. I am willing to manage this matter. It's just that I have never commanded such a large battle before, so I would like to invite Minister Zong to be my assistant. I have a lot to learn from you. He couldn't command the Zhao family, and the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture didn't have much of a relationship with him. If he didn't find a well-respected deputy, he really wouldn't be able to hold on. Zhao Jinghua did not have any objections, so it was decided. Jianghu City, as the logistical material gathering point of this battle, also needed to be guarded by someone. The purpose of Wang Daoyuan attacking the Netherworld crystal mine was to wait for an opportunity to kill the gold core cultivators of the 3 major sects and destroy the last bit of courage of the Netherworld sect. This kind of battle required powerful cultivators to take part in it. Other than Gu Qingfeng, the other 2 gold core cultivators of Linhai Prefecture were not very powerful. They were scared out of their wits in the battle of the 3 River Market. It was not very useful to let them go to the front line, so one person could guard Jianghu City and the other one could protect the supply line in the rank 4 flying warship. Even if the cultivators of the 3 sects attacked the rear, with the gold core cultivators, they could delay a lot of time for the people at the front line to come back. After settling the rear, Wang Daoyuan, Gu Qingfeng and the 4 gold core cultivators of the Zhao family led a group of cultivators below the gold core level to the mysterious crystal mine. More than 2,000 miles to the east of the mysterious crystal mine, there was a mountain with a radius of more than 200 miles called Beiyuan Mountain. There was a rank 3 upper spirit vein on the mountain. This was the location of the Beiyuan sword sect before the rebellion of the 3 sections. After the 3 sects destroyed the Beiyuan sword sect, the Netherworld sect also stationed a lot of cultivators here to protect the mysterious crystal mine. The people of the Zhao family started to gather at Jianghu City half a month ago. It was obvious that they were going to attack the mysterious crystal mine. Once the army arrived, the Beiyuan mountain would not be able to withstand it no matter how many people there were. It was better to withdraw their forces and honestly guard the mysterious crystal mine. Therefore, there was no defensive force at Beiyuan Mountain. Wang Daoyuan and the others were directly stationed at Beiyuan Mountain. The Zifu realm cultivators were in charge of setting up formations and other things. According to the information from Zhou Wan, the Netherworld sect had sent 3 gold core cultivators to guard the mine. They were Zhong Zhenyang, Luo Jioyo, and one of the two grand elders of the Luo family, Luo Jiuyu. This Luo Jiuyu was more than 800 years old. He was extremely low-key and usually cultivated in the Netherworld's Sex Mountain Gate. If there were no major events, he almost never showed his face. Previously, at Wuching Pass, he only sent a rank 4 upper refined corpse and did not make a move himself. Wang Daoyuan was not sure how powerful this person was. However, the strength of the Netherworld sect cultivators would be reduced in the hands of the Zhao family. Unless he had a minor divine ability, it was unlikely that he would be stronger than Zhao Lingjiang. In the case of equal cultivation, it would depend on whose cultivation method and dharma spells were superior. The Zhao family's inheritance came from the ancient cultivators. For 10,000 years, the Zhao family had maintained around 30 gold core cultivators. With so many people improving and sufficient resources to support, the level of the inheritance was naturally very high. Since they wanted to destroy the last bit of courage of the Netherworld sect, they naturally could not just wait. Now that the reinforcements of the Cruel Sun Palace and the Thousand Spirits sect had not arrived, they seized the opportunity to show off their strength first. Zhao Lingyan stayed behind to guard Guiyuan Mountain. Wang Daoyuan and the other 4 gold core cultivators took 6 rank 3 flying warships and headed for the mysterious crystal mine. There were no mountain ranges where the mine was located. There were only a few small hills more than 1,000 feet tall and a rank 3 middle underground spirit vein. The mine was more than 60,000 feet deep and extended more than 100 miles from north to south. With the mine being so deep underground, apart from Wang Daoyuan who had the Guiyuan flame, even a half-step Yuanying would not be able to disturb the mine. The Netherworld sect had set up a rank 3 middle defensive formation along the spirit vein. At the entrance of the mine, they used a formation plate to set up a rank 4 defensive formation. The 5 gold core cultivators came near the entrance of the mine. Zhao Lingjiang took out his natal dharma artifact and used the Gui Water Thunder sword to slash at the rank 3 middle defensive formation. His sword was enough to kill an ordinary late-stage gold core cultivator. A mere rank 3 defensive formation was not worth mentioning at all. With one slash, the defensive light shield shattered. Wang Daoyuan and the other 4 blocked the entrance of the mine. The 6 flying warships that accompanied them quickly went over to attack the eye of the rank 3 defensive formation. As long as all the eye of the formation was destroyed, the Netherworld sect would not be able to repair the formation. To set up the formation again, even with the help of many formation masters, it would take 10 days to half a month. Then, Wang Daoyuan and the others began to use their own spells to attack the rank 4 upper defensive formation at the entrance of the mine. Wang Daoyuan used the Sword Shadow Divine Light technique, and 10 sword shadows attacked the formation continuously. When they ran out of spiritual power, they flew back to replenish their spiritual power. If this defensive formation was permanent and set up on a rank 4 spirit vein, it would be impossible to break through like this. However, this formation was set up with a formation disc. If this continued, the disc would definitely shatter within 3 days. Soon, an angry roar came from within the mine. The Zhao clan scoundrels have gone too far. Wang Daoyuan, you heartless thing. My Netherworld sect has never treated you unfairly. Why are you siding with the Zhao clan? This voice naturally belonged to Luo Jiuyu. Others would not be so thick-skinned. They had bullied the Wang clan for hundreds of years, and they still had the nerve to say that they had never treated them unfairly. Wang Daoyuan used the 5 elements Devil Suppression Seal and smashed it directly at the defensive formation. The defensive light shield shook, but it was not damaged. He mocked, "You forced me to hand over my fortune. You gave me the 5 elements Devil Suppression Seal in 2 parts, with a sinister move that could take my life. If not for Master Lei Yan seeing that something was wrong, would have been killed by your schemes. When I reached the late Zifu disciple stage, you sent my Wang clan's Zifu disciple to a dangerous place that was unsuitable for cultivation. My Wang clan only wanted to develop properly. We never had the ambition to overthrow the Netherworld sect, but you just had to force our hand. Even now, you still have the nerve to say that you have never treated me unfairly. Luo Jiuyu, you despicable person. Do you dare fight with me? Chapter 6:16. Luo Jiuyo didn't dare to answer. Wang Daoyuan had captured Zhao Lingyan, who was in the later stage of the Golden Core realm, and almost captured Gu Chongqing. Those 2 times could be said to be sneak attacks, but facing Gu Qingfeng, who was in the later stage of the Golden Core realm, this was real ability. Half of the strength of the local cultivators of the ghost sect was in refining corpses or raising ghosts. He wasn't good enough in a one-on-one battle. Plus, Red Wing Wu Tianke had the inheritance of the ghost sect, so it was useless for him to release the corpses. Luo Jiuyo didn't dare to answer. Gu Qingfeng began to mock him. Luo, the ghost sect is not a small golden core power. Ruling 1/3 of the territory of the state of Zhao, is that all? I remember that the first time the county king used the Tsang Dragon Pearl in public was at Wucheng Pass. At that time, he was still a foundation establishment cultivator. As the sect leader of a golden core power, you schemed against a foundation establishment cultivator. You're really shameless. The county king has made a lot of contributions to the ghost sect, so he has to keep some tricks when giving rewards. Such a sect can survive until now. You're really capable. You're afraid of the county king's golden crow. I'm an earth element cultivator, so I can't restrain you. Why don't we have a fight? Luo Jiuyo was speechless. Gu Qingfeng's strength wasn't weak, and he was proficient in escape techniques. Even if Luo Jiuyo released the corpses, he wasn't sure he could win. He didn't dare to answer. Gu Qingfeng was even more enthusiastic. We're all people of the same generation as Marquis Yuchuan. The county king is only 200 years old, and his cultivation is lower than yours. You don't even have the courage to face him, and you still have the face to call us cowards. I think the ghost sect is a nest of cowards. Wang Daoyuan and Gu Qingfeng mocked him, but they didn't stop attacking the array. Moreover, when they shouted, they even used spiritual sense and spiritual power. With the strength of the later stage of the Golden Core realm, it wasn't a problem for the words to spread hundreds of miles away. This was also part of the psychological attack. Luo Jiuyo's psychological endurance wasn't very good, so he didn't dare to answer Wang Daoyuan and Gu Qingfeng. The 5 of them chatted and laughed as they attacked the formation. Even the 6th prince was working very hard. However, Wang Daoyuan felt that there was something wrong with this guy. When he looked at others, there was always a hint of hatred on his face. Wang Daoyuan couldn't care less about the Zhao family's domestic affairs, so he just let them be. They were attacking the defensive formation here just to intimidate the underworld sect. Now was not the time to take the mine. Therefore, the attacks were intermittent. After 10 to 12 hours, 3 auspicious clouds floated over from the west of the mine. It was obvious that the reinforcements from the 3 sects had arrived. Another 3 golden core cultivators came to support the other side. Including the 3 people hiding in the mine, the other side had 6 golden core cultivators. Furthermore, with a pinnacle expert like Zhong Zhenyang around, it was hard to say how strong Luo Jiuyo was. If one of the cultivators who came to support was Zhenren Yulong, the 5 of them would not be able to take advantage of him. Wang Daoyuan transmitted his voice to the other 4, the enemy's situation is unknown. Let the cultivators below Golden Core retreat to Primordial Mountain to recuperate first. We will make plans after exploring the situation. The others had no objection. Wang Daoyuan sent a message to the flying warships, telling them to return to Primordial Mountain. The third-order flying warships were not slow. Soon, they fled 200 to 300 miles away. The 3 auspicious clouds were also relatively close. This place was too close to the mine. If they fought here, it would be easy to be sneak attacked by the underworld sect's Golden Core cultivators. He ordered the Golden Core cultivators to retreat 200 miles to the east. The 6th prince took the lead and ran at the front. Wang Daoyuan felt comfortable at that time. He secretly said in his heart, "This is the long-legged prince I know." The 4 of them also followed closely behind the 6th prince. The auspicious clouds coming from the west did not stop at the mine. Instead, they continued to chase east. As they got closer, Wang Daoyuan saw the people coming. 3 late Golden Core cultivators, 2,000 Spirit Sect cultivators, and 1 Cruel Sun Palace cultivator. The Cruel Sun Palace cultivator was the first Supreme Elder, Spiritual Master Yen Yang. Although his strength was not as good as Spiritual Master Jin Yang, who held the Cruel Sun sword, he should not be worse than Zhao Lingjiang. The 1,000 Spirit Sect sent Spiritual Master Yulong. The other person was also the 1,000 Spirit Sect's Great Elder, Spiritual Master Fei Yu. His strength was not very strong. Adding the spiritual beast he raised, he was only at the level of Lord Lin Hai. The 2 sects pulled their first Supreme Elders here. It seemed that they were really anxious. The Yin Qi of the Underworld River was cut off. The mysterious 9 crystal mine was the last pillar of the Underworld sect. If this mine could not be saved, the Underworld sect would be completely finished. The 3 sects were intimately interdependent. If the Underworld sect was finished, the 2 sects would no longer be Zhao clan's opponent. Therefore, they sent their strongest cultivators here. However, the harassment from Emperor Zhao's side also had some effect. Otherwise, it would not be just these 3 reinforcements. Spiritual Master Yulong shouted, "Honored guests of Zhao clan, why are you running away as soon as you see us? It's better to stay and let us entertain you." Zhao Jinghua turned around and shot a 10th water divine thunder. Spiritual Master Qi Yang's strength was not bad. A fiery red arm phantom appeared out of thin air and caught the 10th water divine thunder. Several people flew 200 miles to the east and stopped. At this time, 2 cultivators flew out of the mine. They were Zhong Zhenyang and Luo Jiuyo. The 2 sides were 5 against 5, and each side had 2 top fighting strength. The 6th prince was unreliable, and Zhong Zhenyang also had the intention to leave a way out. Wang Daoyuan transmitted to the other 4 people, letting Zhao Jinghua block Spiritual Master Yulong, and Zhao Lingjiang deal with Spiritual Master Fei Yu. Gu Qingfeng and Spiritual Master Qi Yang were both body refining cultivators. Their life-saving ability was relatively strong. The confrontation between the 6th prince and Zhong Zhenyang, these 2 unreliable guys, was also a bit interesting. As for himself, he wanted to settle the old grudge with Luo Jiuyo. Spiritual Master Yulong summoned a cyan flood dragon. This flood dragon looked similar to the jade scale flood dragon. Unfortunately, its horns were not forked and its tail was bare. At a glance, one could tell that it was a snake that had transformed into a flood dragon. It was a little different from the jade scale flood dragon and had not reached the level of a semi-divine beast. However, the strength of a 4th grade flood dragon could not be underestimated. There was an 80% chance that it had some small magical abilities. Spiritual Master Fei Yu released an eagle-type spirit bird with a wingspan of less than 10 feet. This was the spirit bird that Spiritual Master Fei Yu valued the most. It was called the golden-tailed owl. Zhong Zhenyang and Luo Jiuyo both summoned 4th grade high-grade refined corpses. These things were like clay in front of the Zhao family. In front of Wang Daoyuan, they could only be made of paper. On the other side, the 4 people each took out their magic tools and fought with their opponents. Wang Daoyuan said with a fake smile, "Luo Jiuyo, let's play." After saying that, he took out 5 life magic tools and charged towards Luo Jiuyo. Luo Jiuyo did not dare to let him get close. He immediately turned into a cloud of black smoke and hid. He ordered his refined corpse to attack Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan summoned the scarlet feathered crow and borrowed a wisp of golden and red flames. Activating the vermilion bird fan, the flames surged and swept towards the refined corpse. The scarlet feathered crow also used the sun miner ability and turned into a golden and red sun, pouncing towards the refined corpse. The 4th grade refined corpse's speed could not be underestimated, but it was still incomparable to the scarlet feathered crow. It was quickly ignited by the flames. Luo Jiuyo quickly appeared and helped the refined corpse extinguish the fire. Wang Daoyuan used the black tortoise purgatory to lock Luo Jiuyo up. Then, the black tortoise purgatory gradually shrank. Luo Jiuyo took out a black banner and summoned black smoke from the black banner, wanting to break through the black tortoise purgatory. These black smoke were the little ghosts that Luo Jiuyo raised. If it was someone else, it would not be easy to deal with him. However, Wang Daoyuan's water attribute spirit power and the rootless fire of the Gui water nether flames were the same thing. They could be transformed at any time. Although it was in the form of spirit power and could not be burned at will, it still had the ability to erode the power of the divine sense and soul. When the black smoke came into contact with the black tortoise purgatory, it let out a series of miserable screams. No matter how Luo Jiuyo urged it, it was not willing to attack again. He could only withdraw the black smoke and use magic to break through the black tortoise purgatory. This was purely wishful thinking. Before Wang Daoyuan comprehended the lesser divine ability, he could already trap Gu Qingfeng for a long time. Now that he had the lesser divine ability, his strength had increased by 20%. Trapping Luo Jiuyo was just a piece of cake. The refined corpse he released was quickly turned into ashes under the cooperation of the scarlet-feathered crow and the vermilion bird fan. The black tortoise purgatory continued to shrink. Soon, Luo Jiuyo would follow in the footsteps of the refined corpse. Zhong Zhenyang and the sixth prince fought back and forth, but they did not even look at him. In the end, Yulong Zhenren could not stand it anymore and secretly cursed, "Trash." He waved his hand and released an azure dragon shadow, breaking through the black tortoise purgatory. Luo Jiuyo immediately used an escape technique and turned into black smoke, distancing himself from Wang Daoyuan. Then, the other cultivators of the three sects also began to retreating to the vicinity of the entrance of the mine. Wang Daoyuan did not let anyone chase after him. He had won the first battle and easily destroyed a fourth-grade high-grade refined corpse. His goal of exhausting the strength of the three sects had been achieved. Since he had already gained the upper hand, it was better to stop while he was ahead, so as not to force the other side and cause both sides to suffer. You're tuning in to the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.